It's been 14 years and a lot has changed since the Boston Red Sox last visited Miller Park. Nomar and Manny used to anchor the BOS Sox while Richie and Jeff slugged for the Brew Crew. But tonight it's the new era of Brewers bats who are looking to slug their way past Boston's finest. Milwaukee welcomes the Red Sox next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. After a rainy road trip, you better believe it is great to be back home here at Miller Park as the Brewers begin a week-long homestand. The Mets are in this weekend, but the Boston Red Sox are here now for the first time since 2003. The Red Sox come to Milwaukee to begin a three-game series. Good evening. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minard is our reporter. Well, Rock, this is an interesting series for a couple of reasons. One, it's been a while since the Red Sox have been here, but you have the intriguing matchup. Red Sox with pretty good pitching, and the Brewers with that ability to bash, and that's how they concluded the series in Pittsburgh. It's very, very intriguing.
Yeah, starting rotation and bullpen. Bullpen really good for the Red Sox. So I think the Brewers are going to have to get off the mark very early before they have to deal with that bullpen. And, you know, the way the Brewers score their runs typically is the home run ball. You can see where they rank, 53 home runs. That's first in all of baseball. What they're going to have to do against good pitching, manufacture runs. We saw them do that a little bit in Pittsburgh. It's going to be nice to have Ryan Braun back in that lineup. It has such a different look when Ryan is in there. So I think the long ball is going to be nice, but the Brewers are going to have to figure out other ways to score runs against this very good Boston Red Sox pitching staff.
Yeah, a week ago Sunday, that was the last time Ryan Braun was in the Brewers lineup. Had one pinch hit appearance on the road trip. Well, Travis Shaw is going to meet up against his old team, off to a terrific start and hoping to continue that start against the Red Sox beginning in just a few minutes. Brewers and Red Sox coming up.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The Brewers are back in Milwaukee after a 6-game road trip through St. Louis and Pittsburgh. We're getting ready for the series opener between the Brewers and the Red Sox. So look at tonight's pitching matchup for the Red Sox. It'll be Drew Pomeranz, a 3-1 record for him on the season, earned run average of 4. And for Willie Peralta, he's gone 4-2 in his first 6 starts, and the earned run average just under 5. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophia Minner, and as Matt and Rock told you, you have to go all the way back to 2003, 14 years ago, the last time that the Boston Red Sox were here in Milwaukee for a series against the Brewers. But third baseman Travis Shaw is very familiar with this organization. He was drafted by the Red Sox in 2011, made his major league debut with them in 2015, his first full season in the big leagues last year with them. So a look at the December trade that sent closer Tyler Thornburg to the Red Sox. He has not pitched for them as he's on the 60-day disabled list. The Brewers got back Shaw, hoping he's a long-term solution at third base. So while Shaw is excited for the opportunity to play against his former team, he's also very determined to make sure that Milwaukee wins this trade.
For me, there was a lot of determination. The end of 2016 didn't go the way I wanted it to. Kind of lost my spot late in the year. I was pretty much the starter the whole year, and then down the stretch, the last 3 weeks of the season, the most important time, they went another direction, and that really motivated me this offseason. And then obviously they don't see you in their future plans, and they get rid of you. That adds even more extra motivation. So for me, it was prove them wrong, kind of prove Milwaukee right in this trade.
Shaw has 7 home runs on the season. He'll go for number 8 against his former team. And speaking of number 8, Ryan Braun back in the lineup for the Brewers. We've got first pitch coming up next with Matt LePay and Bill Schroeder right here at Miller Park.
On Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Oh, it's sweet to have a roof. It's not all that bad outside, but let's keep it nice and comfortable inside Miller Park for the first game of this series. First game of a 6-game homestand here for the Brew Crew after a 3-3 road trip, 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. And then getting the final game of the series in Pittsburgh on Sunday. John Farrell's team comes to town with a 17-14 record, a team that many believe will be the favorite, if not the Indians and the Red Sox, perhaps, to win it in the American League. The Yankees may have something to say about that. Here's the Red Sox batting order presented by Potawatomi. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts at the top. Andrew Benintendi is the cleanup hitter. Mitch Moreland, Chris Young 5 and 6. Sandy Leon hits 7th and catches. Josh Rutledge hitting 8th. Drew Pomeranz rounding out the Red Sox batting order. That's the order that will face Willie Peralta.
Yeah, 7th start for Willie, a 488 earned run average so far this year. Took a loss his last time out at St. Louis, 5 1/3, 2 runs in a tough luck loss. It was a 2-1 loss to the Cardinals that day. A no decision in his only start against the Red Sox way back in 2014.
Yeah, that was a good pitching duel he had going with Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals. Martinez just a little bit better as Peralta pours a fastball into Mookie Betts. And we are underway here at Miller Park. Now, John Farrell has tweaked the lineup in recent days. Over the weekend in Minnesota, he moved Betts into the top of the order. This is the 3rd straight time he will be at the top of the order this year for the Red Sox, as his team in the month of April was pretty quiet offensively, but it was anything but over the weekend against the Twins up at Target Field, as all of a sudden that lineup shuffling, whatever, the bats have come alive.
Yeah, they scored 28 runs in their last 2 games. Whether it's a coincidence or not, it doesn't matter. It worked.
You know, Betts a tremendous year last year. The 24-year-old runner-up for the American League MVP. Mike Trout, of course, winning the award. And it was a huge year for Betts. Hit .318 a year ago. On base percentage of .363. It was pretty good in 2015 as well, but last year earned a spot in the All-Star team, and only Mike Trout beat him out to the MVP voting. And here's a pop-up, and Eric Thames sliding over, no play as he went crashing into the railing.
Is he all right?
Slow to get up as he was sliding to try to lessen the collision, but
yeah, went in hard, and that you know, the post that's coming up, you see the little entryway into the dugout. You see that probably hit that right knee on that post, and it's padded, but still coming in that hard. It's going to hurt.
No matter how big you are, there's not much give there. 2-2 pitch to Betts. And he's going to need a little bit of time to shake that off. Hold your breath on plays like that. Eric Thames, obviously a great addition to this team, and a 3-hit day, including his 12th home run of the year on Sunday against Pittsburgh, as Betts sends one to deep left center field, and the Red Sox are on the board.
It's been a bit of an Achilles heel for Willie so far this year. The 7th home run that he's given up. Now Bogaerts just dropped the head of the bat on this one. Look how quick this bat gets through the strike zone, and 1-0 very quickly. Down the middle, 96, down in the zone, and Betts turns on it, knocks it out of here.
We mentioned these Red Sox bats really coming to life. That is just their 28th home run of the year. That is last in the big leagues. But you have to look at more recently with this club. You see Betts with number 4 there. They had 9 home runs in their series at Minnesota. They had a grand total of 15 the entire month of April. Go from one of the young stars to one of the true veteran stars here in Dustin Pedroia. He brings a 6-game hitting streak into Milwaukee.
This guy's just a gamer.
He really is.
When you see gamer in the dictionary, his face is in it. I mean, he just he grinds it out. He gets dirty. He does whatever it takes to get on base and win a game.
33 years old. 4-time All-Star, of course, part of 2 World Series championship teams with these Red Sox. That's the historical perspective. Since the last time the Red Sox visited Milwaukee, they have won 3 World Series titles. 04, 07, and then again in 2013. 3 balls, 1 strike as Peralta works, and he loses Pedroia. So a rocky start here for Willie Peralta.
I'm going to check out the Brewers defense. It was pretty good on the trip, only 3 errors for the Brewers on the road trip. Braun, Broxton, Santana in the outfield. Shaw, Arcia, VR, Thames, and Manny Pena get to start behind home plate.
Here is Xander Bogaerts. Talk about hitting streaks. Bogaerts has a good one in progress. He has hit safely in 11 straight games. The shortstop, and an all-star himself a year ago. This is a Red Sox team that had 2 monster innings on Saturday and Sunday against the Twins. They had an 8-run second on Saturday and a 10-run ninth on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it is just too good an offense. I mean, even on paper, I mean, these guys are going to be able to hit. You know, they're second in the American League in batting average, but just haven't been able to, you know, collect enough runs. But their pitching has kept them close. They're pitching very good.
And good. Their bullpen, Craig Kimbrell, has started to show signs of that Craig Kimbrell that made him the big bucks. 0-2 pitch. This is a Red Sox team that right now the Yankees are getting the lion's share of the headlines, and rightly so, with the start that Joe Girardi's team has had. But the Red Sox, a team that many believe as strong a contender as there is in the American League. 17-14. They won 2 out of 3 against the Twins at Target Field. And that is strike 3, and Bogaerts is the first out of the night for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, nasty right there. That power sinker in on the hands of Bogaerts, and he just watches it go by. Good pitch. Had the height and right on the corner, and yeah, Willie picks up his first strikeout. Not easy to strike out the Red Sox. They have struck out the fewest times of any team in the big leagues.
Yeah, it's been a good tester for the Brewers pitching staff, because the next fewest strikeouts belong to the team they just played, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here is Andrew Benintendi, part of that lineup shuffle, as the young star in the making in the cleanup spot now for John Farrell. Benintendi got in late last year. He was called up in early August, appeared in 34 games, and showed quite a bit. Actually had 3 hits in their divisional round series against the Indians, including a home run. One of those players they believe is on his way to being a star, and the numbers would suggest he could very well be on the fast track.
Yeah, 22 years old. I mean, they're bringing him up early these days, and they're coming up and playing well and being productive. That's the amazing thing.
Played his college ball at the University of Arkansas, the Golden Spikes Award winner. Peralta with a strike, and 2-1 the count.
Man, that's the important slider for Willie, to be able to throw something other than a strike, you know, first pitch or even behind an count. And then when he gets to 2 strikes, maybe get that pitch a little bit out of the zone to get the swing and miss. Tough assignment against this Red Sox offense.
And Willie misses up and away. 3-1 to the center fielder. He has 3 straight multi-hit games, does Benintendi. A tough start here for Peralta. Leadoff home run given up to Mookie Betts. A walk to Pedroia, but he gets Bogaerts looking for out number 1, and the 3-1 pitch is downstairs, and the Red Sox have runners at first and second with 1 out. Field and Culbreth, the crew chief here tonight, over at first. Manny Gonzalez calling balls and strikes. Ben May at second. Mark Carlson is the third base umpire, rounding out your crew here for the Brewers and the Red Sox. As Rock mentioned, Willie pitched well. Game against the Cardinals. It was a good duel between Peralta and Carlos Martinez.
And the only real bad start that Willie's had was here against the Cardinals back on April 21st. 6 runs in 4 innings. I mean, other than that, he hadn't been too bad. He's had another start, 4 runs in 5 innings, but it's been a good start to his season. Earned run average a bit high because of that 1 start.
We will face Mitch Moreland, a former Texas Ranger. So among the things the Red Sox are doing this year is moving on without Big Papi David Ortiz. And But this being in a National League park, we don't see Hanley Ramirez in the lineup tonight, but it looks as though we will tomorrow. You see what Moreland has done. Some pretty good numbers for him. Gold Glove winner last year. 7 years Moreland was with the Rangers. A home run and a couple of walks given up by Peralta to start the night, and he is behind 2 balls, no strikes to the Red Sox first baseman.
Yeah, can't fall behind in the count. I mean, that's not brain surgery to say that, but particularly, the way this Red Sox team has been swinging the bats. Last time he fell behind 2-0, he dropped a slider in for a strike. Let's see what he throws here.
Pedroia the runner at second, Benintendi at first. As Peralta ready with a 2-0 pitch. There it is.
And another one. Yeah, good pitch. I mean, nobody's looking for that on a 2-0 count.
Slider makes it 2-1 to Mitch Moreland. Chris Young is on deck as you look at the Red Sox base runners. Peralta having to battle his way through this first inning. A swing and a miss. Some of Peralta's best work has come that first time through the batting order.
Yeah, first 2 innings, he's been pretty good. First time through that batting order, as you talked about. Problems come after that.
He's run into some early problems here. Let's see if he can battle through it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Moreland. And that is popped straight back. Brewers had some good pitching on the road trip, including the 3-game series in Pittsburgh. Long rain delay on Friday night. Good pitching duel. Matt Garza has given his team a couple of very good outings of late. And Zach Davies effective in bullpen help as well on Sunday. You see what they did in Pittsburgh. Won just a game. Pirates had good pitching as well, but the Brewers able to salvage a game of the series on Sunday as Moreland goes down swinging for out number 2.
Yeah, chasing that high fastball. Back-to-back fastballs for Peralta. He got back into the count after falling behind 2-0 on sliders, and then it's Miss Moreland to chase the big fastball at 95 up in the zone.
A couple of first inning strikeouts and a couple of first inning walks from Willie Peralta. In addition to the leadoff home run from Mookie Betts. He'll face Chris Young, 33-year-old, getting an opportunity here. Jackie Bradley still trying to get back into some rhythm. Bradley dealt with a little knee injury and was scuffling coming back. Chris Young swinging a good bat, remains in the lineup. Anticipate seeing Jackie Bradley Jr. As soon as tomorrow, but go with the hot bat right now, and Young is in the lineup.
And they've had some major players on the disabled list already.
There's a long list, as a matter of fact, with this Red Sox team, and all things considered, they're probably doing okay to be 17-14. List includes David Price. There's a bouncing ball over to Arcia, and the flip over to Jonathan Villar, and that's not bad the way the innings started. The Red Sox pick up a run as Willie works his way through the top of the first. Mookie Betts, but they end up stranding 2 other runners as the Brewers get ready for their first crack at it tonight. Greg Council's team 16-16 beginning this homestand. They're playing better on the road than they have at home. See if they can't get a few more wins here at the home ballpark tonight. Check out Council's lineup. Presented by Potawatomi. You see Jonathan VR as always at the top, followed by Eric Thames and Ryan Braun back in the lineup tonight. Travis Shaw, the former Red Sox third baseman, gets cleanup. Domingo Santana and Manny Pena 5 and 6. Brewers round out the order with Keon Broxton, Orlando Arcia, and Willie Peralta against the left-hander Drew Pomeranz.
Yeah, big dude Drew Pomeranz, 6'5", 230 pounds. This is his 7th year. Split last year between the Padres and the Boston Red Sox. You see his numbers, a 4 earned run average and a 3-1 record.
This is a bit of a makeshift rotation here for the Red Sox. Now Pomeranz a part of it, as you would anticipate, but we're mentioning the injuries. David Price still working his way back from elbow trouble. Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, out for the year with a knee injury. They're working through it. They have had great production from Chris Sale. The Brewers will miss him in this series. 1-1 pitch to VR. And the curve is downstairs.
Yep, and former Brewer Tyler Thornburg continues to have arm problems. He's on the 60-day.
Of course, Thornburg part of that trade that brought Travis Shaw to Milwaukee. Shaw in the cleanup spot here tonight. 2-1 to Jonathan VR. Better from the right side than the left. Historically, certainly that was the case last year, but VR with just 3 hits in 31 at-bats against lefties so far this season. 2-2 pitch to the second baseman is upstairs.
Yeah, Pomeranz basically a 2-pitch pitcher. I mean, fastball, low 90s, and a lot of curveballs. I mean, doesn't mess around too much with a slider or a changeup. He will cut his fastball from time to time.
Payoff pitch to the Brewers leadoff hitter. We mentioned that Pomeranz split his time last year between the Padres and the Red Sox. He was an all-star last year for the Padres. They, of course, hosted the all-star game last year. He was traded 2 days later. 3-2 pitch to VR. Hit in the air to right field. A Mookie Betts giving chase, and it's a foul ball. VR had a hit on Sunday. The series finale at Pittsburgh. A tough trip for him in terms of batting average, but did hit a home run in St. Louis. 4 for 25 on that road swing. But the Brewers managed to split their 6 games as VR draws a walk to open things up in the home half of the first.
Well, let's check out the Menards Red Sox defense. They've committed 26 errors. That's next to last in the American League. Young, Benintendi, and Betts in the outfield. Rutledge, Bogarts, Pedroia up the middle. Mitch Moreland behind home plate, and Sandy Leon behind home plate. Yeah, they've been kicking it around a little bit. That hasn't helped.
Yeah, third base has been very vulnerable. Pablo Sandoval, another one of the Red Sox players who is on the DL. Marco Hernandez as well. Josh Rutledge, a Rule 5 pick over there for the Red Sox tonight.
Yeah, those 2 guys you mentioned that are on the disabled list responsible for 10 errors. 10 of the 27.
Here is Eric Thames. He went 3 for 4 on Sunday. Also was hit by a pitch. His last at bat, he put one into the right field seats at PNC Park. Check it out. It got out of here right now. And like most of his home runs, there wasn't much mystery to it. It was out of here. John Jaso, the right fielder, didn't even bother to move. 12 home runs for Thames. Only Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals has more. Brewers with 53 home runs, still the most in ball.
And one of the nice things about Eric Thames, he's very good against lefties, as is Shaw. He's done a pretty good job against left-handers.
Thames 360 against left-handers, and there's a drive. Right center field, and it is gone! Eric Thames, last 2 at-bats. Pittsburgh and Miller Park goes deep.
Now check it out. You know, fastball, that's not going to get it done to Thames. I mean, didn't get it in far enough. That's only 90 miles an hour, and he turns it around. I think the drought is over for Thames. I mean, back-to-back home runs on back-to-back at-bats, and gives the Brewers a 2-1 lead. There you go.
And there's Keon doing the Eric Thames walk again. Showed that off in Pittsburgh. Number 13 for the big man. Here's Ryan Braun.
Well, he came on the air talking about the importance of the Brewers manufacturing runs. That's a pretty good way to manufacture a run. A walk and a big fly.
It works. That's the Brewers way of manufacturing runs. Walk and mash, and there's a liner. Ryan Braun to center. That bangs off the wall. And Braun on his way into second. Welcome back, number 8.
It don't take him long, does it?
Nope.
And he's something else. I mean, been out about a week. He had 1 at bat in St. Louis. And he comes out and hits a frozen rope. You can hang about a week's worth of wash on this line drive right here. I mean, talking about centering on one, banging hard against that center field fence.
I'm not sure there are many who have more fun than Keon Broxton. Watching guys like Thames and Braun go to work, and maybe more of the same coming up with the next hitter, the former Boston Red Sox third baseman Travis Shaw. Didn't hide it, and he's looking forward to this series. Telling Sophia Minert like to maybe prove the Red Sox wrong and making the move, and Shaw also points out prove the Brewers right.
Right. More importantly.
Absolutely. Well, so far he has done that. The 24 RBIs he has leads this team. Actually tied now with Eric Thames. 2-run homer for Thames gives him 24.
And that's always an extra incentive for a player who got traded away from a team. And guy was playing a lot. He kind of lost his playing time for somebody else. He saw the writing on the wall and would like nothing better to have a nice series against his former team.
He's had a very nice start to his season as a Brewer. With 7 home runs, including 1 on Sunday. It was a rocket well over the Clemente wall in right field. 2 strikes and nothing as Pomeranz goes to work, and a curve is blooped over Bogart's a base hit. Here comes Braun, and it's 3-1 Brewers.
And nice adjustment as that pitch is coming at him. That was a curveball that Pomeranz left up in his zone. Kind of double clutched on it and able to fist it into left field. There it is. You see the way he hesitated. He recognized curveball, let it get in on him, and dumped it out there. Ryan Braun read it nicely and came around to score. That's a good answer to a Red Sox run in the first.
First 4 Brewers have reached. 3 have scored. Here is Domingo Santana. Brewers going to work against Drew Pomeranz, and there's a fly ball into right field, but Mookie Betts is there for the first out of the inning.
Well, the Brewers have fared well against lefties so far this year. Batting average coming in around 275, and it's one of the top numbers in all of baseball against lefties. Always nice to have Braun in the lineup when you have a left-hander out on the mound. He wears out lefties.
He does. And we've talked about it, and it's obvious, but when you don't have him in the lineup, it changes the dynamic. And as you mentioned, rocking a road trip, it was pretty good work for this team to win 3 games, getting just 1 at-bat from Braun.
Man, tip your hat to the Brewers pitching staff. I mean, they did a nice job keeping the guys close, and the first couple of games just couldn't get over the hump, but nice win on Sunday.
There's Manny Pena. It's the starting call here tonight. Shaw, the runner at first. And a bouncing ball over to Rutledge at third, and a throw to second 1. That's all they'll get.
I'm pretty close at second base.
Yeah, it was.
I think if Shaw, slides with the legs out straight, he might be safe. He came in with the legs bent. Check it out. I mean, this is a bit of a risk for Rutledge. Just not able to get that lead leg on the bag. It would have been a lot closer.
Still an RBI single for Shaw, his first at bat against his former team. Part of a 3-run first here for the Brew Crew. Here is Keon Broxton. 1 for 3 with a walk on Sunday. He continues to swing a good bat. He's now hitting over his last 14 games. Broxton is hitting at a .341 clip. And making the plays out in center field. Well, a good start for the Brewers here offensively as they quickly erase a 1-run deficit against Drew Pomeranz. Team was good with the Padres last year prior to the trade. Won 8 games and 15 decisions, but his ERA was .247. Red Sox giving up a top prospect, a pitcher by the name of Anderson Espinosa, to get Pomeranz.
He's had a career earned run average for Pomeranz at .380. Not bad.
1-1 pitch to Broxton, a line drive deep to right field. Betts looking up, gone! Keon Broxton continues to swing a hot bat.
There you go. Nice crooked number for the Brew Crew at first. And what you love about this is where he hit it, the right field, and a lot of guys are going to pull that pitch. 90 miles an hour, middle in, and he goes right with it to the opposite field and has enough on it, enough lift to get it out of here. So the Brewers with a 5 spot in the first inning.
Down the line goes Keon Broxton.
Who was talking about manufacturing runs on the open today?
Yeah,
I mean, was that me?
This is how the Brewers do it.
Yeah. I take it back.
Orlando Arcia swings through a curve, and he is down 2 strikes to nothing to Drew Pomeranz.
Can we redo the open? Talking about just get up there and mash.
That's right. Well, you call them what? You call them Council's crushers, right? Going to work.
They have been. First 6 weeks, they have been swinging the bats well. The home run ball, anyway.
Ball 2 strikes to Orlando Arcia. As Rock mentioned with Pomeranz, it's fastball curve. Fastball curve.
Cutter once in a while.
Yep.
No changeup.
Brewers doing a lot of damage to the Red Sox left-hander right out of the gate. Arcia trying to get it back in gear at the plate. Continues to play very effectively out at short. That ongoing process for any hitter, but especially a young one at this level. Two-two pitch. And that will end the inning, but a very good inning it was as the Brewers send 8 men to the plate. Eric Thames picking up where he left off in Pittsburgh as he launches a 2-run blast. And then it's Keon Broxton going downtown as Bernie takes a quick trip down his slide. Good start for the Crew. 5 runs in the first inning, courtesy of a couple of long balls.
Yeah, I'm going to hear about that.
Eric Thames with number 13, a 2-run blast. Keon Broxton also going deep for the home team. 5-1 Milwaukee as we move to the second inning.
Well, one of the 5 runs was manufactured.
It was. Worked.
Yeah, double, single.
That's right.
Spent a lot of time talking about manufacturing runs today. Conference call and pre-game show, and
hey, no one's complaining.
they come out with a couple of 2-run big flies. There you go.
Sandy Leon leads off for the Red Sox. Normally Christian Vasquez catches Pomeranz, but Leon has been on a power surge of his own. He had a couple of home runs on Sunday. He has 3 homers in his last 2 starts, so it only makes sense for John Farrell to keep Leon in the lineup.
The bat plays.
That's right. 28-year-old handled the position well. They had some injuries behind the plate a year ago. He hit better than 300. Willie Peralta hoping for a smoother second inning than he had in the first, although the damage was only moderate. He gave up a leadoff homer to Mookie Betts, but a couple of walks to Pedroia and Benintendi, but did not suffer any more damage because of it. 2-1 pitch missing to Leon. 7, 8, 9 hitters in the Red Sox order in the top half of the second inning. So the home run ball a factor, a storyline already tonight as Leon pops this one up. Almost a roof scraper in the foul territory. Eric Thames will squeeze it for out number 1. Well, tonight's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in its 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. Welcome to those watching tonight, and thank you for your service. Cannot say thank you enough.
No kidding. Yeah, the soldiers and their families. Equally difficult on the families back at home.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy some baseball here tonight from Miller Park in Milwaukee. Here is Josh Rutledge, the third baseman. Rule 5 pick from the Colorado Rockies. He was quickly behind 0-2 to Willie Peralta. And with some tempo, Peralta buries a slider. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, when there's nobody on base, Willie does work very quickly. Has a tendency to slow things down quite a bit when he's working out of the stretch. But that's the way it is with most pitchers.
Another slider missing low and away to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In addition to the power, the Red Sox over the last 10 games hitting better than .290, on base percentage of .365 in that stretch. So they've been hitting with power, but they've been hitting period. Not Josh Rutledge, a foul tip into the mid of Manny Pena, and that is strikeout number 3 for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, the Red Sox are tied for second in the American League in batting average. They're tied with the Yankees. Now the Astros 1 point better. That's a good fastball. Willie's got a good one tonight. And 95, 96 with some movement on it.
So Peralta will face the pitcher. Interleague play, National League Park. The pitcher hits, but you don't really want to go to sleep on Drew Pomeranz. He has a couple of home runs in his career, including one last year in Cincinnati. Went deep off of Brandon Finnegan.
Well, you'd rather face Pomeranz than Hanley Ramirez, though.
That's a very good point.
No DH. It's good to see him on the bench.
I cannot debate you on that. Yeah, Ramirez, what big year last year, is got back to some of the Hanley Ramirez numbers of the past. These two teams met 3 years ago, a series at Fenway Park. Brewers went into Boston and swept the Red Sox. Red Sox were getting their World Series rings, all the pomp and circumstance, and the Brewers had a terrific month of April in 2014. Took care of business against Dustin Pedroia and company. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Peralta against Drew Pomeranz. And that will do it for the Red Sox in the second inning. A couple of more punch outs for Willie. We are through an inning and a half. It's 5-1 Milwaukee.
And Cam Broxton give the Brewers a big 5-1 lead as we head to the second here at Miller Park. And our scoops from the clubhouse with manager Craig Counsell brought to you by Car Soup is that it's obviously great to have Ryan Braun back in the lineup. Just one plate appearance for him over that 6-game road trip. And he said certainly it took a little bit longer than what we would like to have Braun out, but he pointed to guys like Hernan Perez, Jesus Aguilar, who had really solid road trips. Their versatility in different spots really helped kind of pick up the slack with Braun missing from the lineup. And as we told you at the top of the show, the Red Sox are here in Milwaukee for the first time since 2003, and Craig Counsell says really the challenge is this is one of the teams that we rarely see because they're in Florida for spring training, obviously in the American League, so it's one of the teams that you kind of know the least about. So he said that's the challenge when you're preparing for a series like this one, is that both teams really don't know much about each other, so you really rely on the scouting reports, do a little extra homework in terms of getting to know lineups and pitchers, matchups, etc. So he said a lot of these players we're seeing for the first time.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Well, one guy they know a lot about, although we won't see him. You saw Tyler Thornburg on the trip, but it's going to be a while before he gets back on the mound. Shoulder issue has kept him sidelined.
When did he make one appearance in spring training?
Yeah, that was it. He's yet to appear in a regular season game. Of course, part of that Travis Shaw trade.
Yeah, last year, really the only season that Tyler was able to stay healthy. And what a season it was for him.
Willie Peralta hits one in the air. Shallow right field. That's Mookie Betts, and that is out number 1. Yeah, it was a difference for Thornburg last year. I know we talked about it during the course of the season, where in the offseason before 2016 he could pitch. He could go through the normal offseason process, get himself ready and conditioned to pitch, where the year before it was rehabbing.
Yeah,
it's a world of difference, and he had a very good year for the Crew. Much different looking Milwaukee bullpen, especially that back end now compared to this time a year ago, but it's been pretty good.
When you think about that trade, though, I mean, Thornburg, you get Travis Shaw, you get a couple of minor leaguers, including Mauricio Dubon. That kid, we saw him, Dubon, in spring training. He's the real deal at shortstop.
Putting up some nice numbers already in the regular season. Yeah, he had a couple of highlight defensive plays during spring training. Jonathan Villar walked to open the Brewers' first inning. First 4 Brewers hitters reached. It's good to see Villar work a walk. That's just the 11th he has been able to draw so far this year. As that foul tip went off the mask of Leon. 2 balls, 1 strike to Villar. Only Brewer to appear in every game. He was appearing in almost every game the Brewers played a year ago. One that Craig Counsell could count on to put in there in the lineup. 2-1 pitch.
And they need to get him going. I mean, batting average under 200, but I think more importantly, Craig Counsell would like to see that on base percentage go up considerably. Get on with it whichever way he can, because he makes such a difference when he gets on the bases.
The 3-1 pitch. Well, it goes back really, Rock, to your point about manufacturing runs. I mean, all kidding aside, if he gets on base, and it can change the dynamic of an inning where, you know, Thames and Braun, they don't have to hit it out of the ballpark. You go gap to gap, and you can create havoc that way. And Darnell Cole's trying to unlock the mystery here and get Villar going. Payoff pitch coming to the second baseman. A curve is chopped foul.
Hey, I know that you know, Villar had his issues on the bases. He got picked off a lot, got caught stealing quite a bit, but I mean, regardless of that, he makes a difference when he's on first base. You know, as a former catcher, I'll tell you, when a guy like that's on base, I'm thinking fastball. I want to get the ball as quickly as I can to try and throw the guy out when he takes off.
It's a great point you make, and now this catcher's going to have to deal with Villar on base again. It's really easy for those of us on the outside looking in saying how much it affects a pitcher, but as you have pointed out, the catcher too.
I mean, you call it curveball, and you know, Villar takes off. You're not going to throw him out. I mean, really, unless he gets just a horrible jump. So what do? In your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to throw fastball. I want to get the baseball and throw this guy out at second base. So as a result, you know, guys like Thames, guys like Braun get better pitches to hit.
Now the 2, 3, and 4 hitters roll to the plate, beginning with Thames, who homered in his first at bat. You look at those 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Thames, Braun, and Shaw, as we take a look at the Powerball home run leaderboard. Eric with number 13, a 2-run Rockets in the first inning. Braun and Shaw with 7, Domingo Santana with 5. Second, third, fourth, and fifth hitters in the lineup. 2, 3, and 4 alone against left-handed pitching, and really been lights out good here for the Brewers. Look at the numbers Thames has. 2, 3, and 4, 366 as Thames goes the other way, left center field, a base hit. VR had to hold up, and now he has to retreat and gets back to the bag at second.
And just couldn't find the baseball. He was running on the pitch. He was able to see where it was and read it. It was an obvious base hit. I just didn't know really where the baseball was, and that was a heck of an at-bat by Thames. Check this pitch out. Off the outside corner, you can see Leon, and he's already thinking about the throw. Good jump, not going to throw him out. He just never sees the baseball. You see Pedroia deking him a little bit, trying to make him think the ball's in the infield. And by the time he recognizes where the baseball is, too late. That's a good decision by VR. You don't want to be caught going to third base if you hesitate like that, particularly with Braun coming up.
And that is the case. Braun, who doubled in his first swing of this series, started a week ago Sunday, had to come out of that game against the Braves, had some lat tightness or trapezius muscle tightness, and the arm just wasn't cooperating with him to try to throw. So we had one pinch hit appearance, and that was at the end of Tuesday night's game in St. Louis, and that was all we saw of Brawny on the road trip. But already a factor here tonight with that first inning double, and eventually scored on the Travis Shaw single.
Yeah, but really up to that point, Braun was in the lineup just about every day games after night games, and they just had to sit down and let the body heal a little bit.
Pomeranz with the 1-0 with VR running, pitch taken, and a throw to third is in time.
And not a good idea.
No, not with Ryan Braun at the plate.
No, and if you take off to third base like that, you better make it.
Sandy Leon is good at throwing out base runners. That's 4 out of 9 he's nabbed.
And Braun helped him as much as he could with the bunt attempt. He was just showing bunt, you know, to keep Leon back, so he couldn't get out in front. You can see the tag right there gets him, and he's out easily.
1-0 the count to Ryan Braun. Thames the runner at first. Yeah, that's helping out a struggling pitcher right there. 2 men out. Pomeranz gave up 5 in the first. Braun with 7 homers. He has driven in 18. A very impressive 376 on base percentage. The 2-1.
And not often you see Ryan Braun be over aggressive like that on a pitch way out of the strike zone.
Doesn't mind playing American League teams, as you see by those numbers. Pomeranz ready with the 2-2 pitch. And a bouncing ball. Rutledge diving, makes the stop, and the throw is in time. Good play over at third by Josh Rutledge to end the inning. Brewers had something going, but a caught stealing, and then Josh Rutledge, the Rule 5 pick, with an impressive play over at third. And that will do it for the Brewers in the second inning. So we take another look at Rutledge. The Brewers will not challenge. And we are through 2 innings here at Miller Park, with the Brewers leading the Boston Red Sox in the first game of this 3-game series 5-1.
The third inning, and this Saturday is Star Wars night at the ballpark. The Brewers battle the New York Mets, and all fans in attendance will enjoy a special Star Wars themed post-game laser show. For details and tickets, go to brewers.com/theme nights.
Back home, Rock.
Yeah,
Back home.
and that's a Jedi Keon bobblehead day.
It sure is. The Metropolitans coming to town over the weekend. No drama going on with that club at all.
No, not at all.
By the way, we'll see Matt Harvey Friday night. He will start.
He'll be back from a 3-day vacation.
Yes, he will. There's Mookie Betts, and he has been a thorn in Willie Peralta's side. Led off the game with a home run. He goes the other way for a single. That's how the third inning begins.
Well, the whole thing with Matt Harvey was, what, he played golf, had a migraine, right? And thought that, the Mets were informed, but apparently they weren't, just didn't show up, and they suspended him.
He said enough is enough.
Lack of communication, right?
Yeah. He will be back in there on Friday night on the mound. Here is Dustin Pedroia. Four Gold Gloves. Four-time All-Star. Former Arizona State Sun Devil. And the Red Sox have had a few things going on. They've already had a heavy dose of the Orioles this season, and the dust-ups began when Pedroia, covering second, was taken out on a hard slide by Manny Machado, and then some beanballs and some tower buzzing going on. And actually, Pomerantz was the starter when the Orioles' Kevin Gausman was thrown out when he hit Xander Bogaerts with a 78-mile-an-hour curve. But the commissioner, as well as Joe Torre, before that game, warned both sides to knock it off, and even a slow curve was enough to get you ejected on that night.
I guess their opinion is it'll be over when we say it's over, right?
That's right.
The slide was not, it was a little bit iffy. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it was out of line too much. I mean, it didn't end well for Pedroia.
There's a bouncer to Arcia. There's VR for one, and the turn, and that's a double play. Nicely done. 6-4-3, 2 men out in the third.
Well, high chopper, you don't expect to turn a double play, but it took Pedroia a while to get out of the box. Nice quick feed over to VR, and certainly he's got enough on the arm to be able to get the out at first. By plenty. Those two guys are quick up the middle.
That's tremendous athleticism from both. They know how to turn that double play.
I mean, you saw this slide by Machado, right? I mean, it wasn't out of, it wasn't crazy bad.
No.
It didn't look like he was trying to hurt anybody. Just a lot of guys will go in, slide with their foot up, and it just kind of got him and cost him a couple of days. But the Red Sox pitching staff thought differently.
Even Pedroia was not particularly critical of Machado. I mean, this guy, you look at him, he's a ball player, right?
Yeah, gamer.
He was okay. And then when pitches got up and in and toward the head, even Pedroia was saying, no, we can't do that. And if you're going to hit somebody in the leg, maybe, but when you get up to the tower, then that's a whole other story. And Matt Barnes, the relief pitcher, took a 4-game hit for getting 1-2 up and in, and actually up behind a hitter. Xander Bogaerts, 3-0 the count.
Yeah, that's when you really get the ire of the opponent when you start headhunting. That's not good.
3 balls, 1 strike to the Red Sox shortstop. Yeah, every now and then you hear those in the game saying if you really want to knock that off, then if you pitch up near the head, that's where the penalty has to be harsh.
Right.
But they had a lot going on when Machado homered last game of that series. It took them, you could time them with a calendar, it seemed, taking that home run trot. But even watching part of a Red Sox telecast saying I couldn't really blame him. I mean, the back and forth that was.
Well, what are they going to do? I mean, they've been throwing at him anyway,
That's
right?
right. It's he went deep and took the chance to admire it. Make no mistake, though, this is a Red Sox team that a chance to be very, very good. There's a liner right to Jonathan VR, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the third inning. We move to the bottom of inning number 3. Brewers lead 5-1.
For the Brewers, joined now by Brewers COO Rick Schlesinger. Rick, start of a 6-game homestand. The Red Sox are here for the first time in 14 years. Still tickets available for the remaining games.
Yeah, it's great to see them here. It's been a long time. We've got good tickets available tomorrow and a day game on Thursday, which is popular. So want the fans to come in and see the American League East team.
The Mets are coming into town over the weekend, and a number of giveaways going on over the weekend as well.
Well, we've got 5 County Friday, so half-price tickets for everybody from the 5 County area. Saturday is Star Wars night. We've got a post-game laser show and a Jedi Keon Broxton bobblehead for people who sign up for the ticket package. So it's not an all-fan giveaway, but there are packages available that people can buy, and we'll have fun, a lot of Star Wars-themed events.
All right, well, Matt and Rock, we've certainly had our fun with that Jedi Keon bobblehead. So that's coming up on Saturday night. Don't forget to stick around for the laser show. And then also Sunday for Mother's Day, there's the Brewers wristlet. So plenty of opportunities here to get out to the ballpark and get some fun treats while you're here.
Absolutely, Sophia. Rick, thank you very much. I think you should maybe get 2 Keon Jedi bobbleheads for your efforts.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of fun. I have to correct Sophia. We haven't had a lot of fun with that whole thing. I've been just having a difficult time reading those promos.
We've been having fun watching
yeah, you've been having fun watching me stumble all over myself, which is nothing new.
Travis Shaw, who delivered a run-scoring single in the first inning. Shaw, Santana, and Pena for Milwaukee here in the bottom of the third. Brewers getting to Drew Pomeranz to the tune of 5 runs in the first inning. And a little chopper. That's a fair ball. Leon will make the play for out number 1.
And that's a good job by Leon right there. That ball was going to spin back, but he touched it in fair territory. That was very quick to get out of the crouch and grab this baseball. The spin on it, once it bounces here, it's going to bounce back into foul territory. But Leon touches it, makes it a fair ball, and by the time Travis Shaw realizes it, it's too late.
Good work by the 28-year-old Sandy Leon. Here is Domingo Santana. Looks at the curve for strike 1. Santana with a fly ball to Mookie Betts in right field, his first time at the plate. Jim Pomerantz likes to throw the curveball. His father played college ball, Mike, and as the story goes, it was his father who taught Pomerantz the knuckle curve. Fastball curve, little cut fastball at times.
Yeah, that big overhand curveball. I didn't throw it all that hard. That's the idea behind the knuckle curve. You get good spin on it. Not a lot of velocity, but because of the way you dig your fingers into the seams, you get a lot of rotation. Spin rate is very good on it. And you get a sharp break.
Missing there with it. 3-1 the count to Santana.
There's that curveball. Big break on it, down in the zone.
The 3-1. Back to the curve, and the count is full.
A lot of guys get a lot of mileage when they throw those big curveballs, you know, right over the top. Big curveball, high fastball, and there's another curveball down and in.
Payoff pitch to Domingo Santana, and that is chopped to Bogarts, and he makes a fairly tough play look easy. Out number 2.
Yeah, do you see the way he got himself in position to throw before he caught the baseball? Hey, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, and ballparks. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
Here's Manny Pena.
You know who did the big curveball and high fastball very effectively, and that was Don Sutton.
Yes,
that was his MO. I caught Don Sutton here with the Brewers for a couple of years. And I learned a lot from him in calling a game. But you know, that big curveball, he said it came out the same plane when you throw high fastballs. So big curveball, high fastball, tough, more difficult for a hitter to pick up.
It was fun to watch. Works Braves radio these days, right? I believe, with Jim Powell, of course, our old friend. A ball, a strike to Manny Pena. Fieldin Culbreth, the crew chief, the first base umpire tonight. Pena with a very impressive on-base percentage of .369. Pomerantz trying to get his first 1-2-3 inning. One pitch, another chance for Bogarts, and Pomerantz will get his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Both starters starting to settle in. 5-1 Brewers after 3. Miller Park. Let's check out tonight's showstopper. playing a split doubleheader out in Denver today. And check out Mark Reynolds. 12th home run of the season. He has been mashing for the Rockies. Off to a great start this year. And then Eric Thames with number 13 as he greets Drew Pomeranz with this bomb. Over the wall in right center. Number 13 for Eric Thames. Nice showstoppers here tonight. Thames now has matched Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, Mark Reynolds, 12 home runs, and the only reason he's playing, all the injuries out there in Colorado. You wonder what they're going to do when they all come back.
To use a cliche, the pleasant problem, right?
Right.
They're off to a terrific start, 21-12, leading the National League West. Andrew Benintendi leading things off. First round pick a couple of years ago. He has 11 multi-hit games already this season, does Benintendi, including 3 in a row. He walked in the first inning. Peralta out in front of all 2 strikes. Willie settling in. He gave up a home run, a couple of walks in the first inning. A 1-2-3 seconds. Mookie Betts with a single to lead off the third, but Dustin Pedroia bounced into a double play and Bogarts lined out. So maybe a little rhythm here for Peralta. His team gives him this 4-run lead. Remember Peralta's last Miller Park outing, he had a ton of run support. The Brewers put it to the Reds 9-4, but all 4 of the Reds runs came via the homer. Payoff pitch to Benintendi, and that is ripped right to Eric Thames for out number 1.
Yeah, back-to-back outs. Well, Bogarts ended the third inning with a line out to second base, and now Benintendi to first base.
Thames with home runs 12 and 13 in his last 2 games. Sunday afternoon and early on tonight. Here's Mitch Moreland. The longtime Texas Ranger. Signed a free agent deal with the Red Sox back in December. With 22 homers last year, 23 the year before. A couple of bombs for him so far in his first year with the Red Sox. Look out. High and tight.
1-1 pitch, and I remember Moreland struck out on a high fastball his first time up. That one a little bit too close for comfort.
2-1 the count to Moreland, a Gold Glove winner a year ago. And again, really works him inside.
You talk about the Red Sox, a little bit of a slow start offensively. You have to wonder about the effect of not having David Ortiz on the team. I mean, you talk about a guy that's a difference maker both when he's on the field and in the clubhouse. He's been there a long time, and all of a sudden he's no longer around.
And as good as he was last year, you just wonder how many. The fans were hoping he would come back. You wonder in the organization. The reality sets in. He's not walking through the door, right? But you're thinking, oh, maybe you could talk him in to one more time around. But John Farrell and company working without Big Papi. 3-2 pitch into the shift. That's Jonathan Villar out on the grass, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, those intangibles are not something you really put your finger on, but you got to figure that was an issue for the Red Sox early on. Who's going to be that guy to step up to be the leader? He was a vocal leader too. I mean, a guy that had a great time playing baseball, but always had that eye of the tiger when he was in that batter's box. I mean, he had an edge to him when he was playing.
He did.
And David Ortiz, and a good edge at that.
Had that clutch gene as well. There is Chris Young.
Now he's hanging out with the rich and the famous at the Kentucky Derby.
That's right.
Did you see that outfit he had on? That was sweet.
He was looking good. He was looking good. Young pops this one up, and Thames going over. He's already crashed into the railing once. He'll tap the brakes this time and watch the ball go into the seats. There was a certain quarterback for the Green Bay Packers who was all decked out too. I don't know if you saw that photo.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers looking sharp at the Derby.
Tom Brady.
That's right. Katie Couric. 1-1 pitch.
Who's she play for?
Good question. Two balls, one strike.
A tough pitch to lay off of, but he did.
Chris Young, some good years with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Helping out the Red Sox here early this season, and he draws a 2-out walk in the fourth. It's the third walk given up by Peralta. Gave up a couple in the first inning, but no damage was done from those passes. Going for his fifth win is Willie, 4-2. Going into tonight's matchup. Sandy Leon popped out the Thames in foul territory in the second. He's one of those Red Sox hitters who's been driving the ball. He certainly did that at Target Field.
Yeah, tough guy to walk, but he's been swinging it.
One-0 pitch. Pena digs that out.
Yeah, change up right there. Change up 1-0. Now he's down in the count 2-0.
We mentioned Peralta has been most effective that first time through. It's when you get toward the middle innings that trouble can pop up. He retired the first two here in the fourth before walking Chris Young.
I think that's the effect of the third pitch, whether you have it or you don't as a starting pitcher. Most do. Yeah, Willie's been trying to come up with that third pitch to change up. He threw one to Leon here. Change up. He'll throw maybe a curveball from time to time, but he's basically a fastball slider. That first time through, you might be effective, but it's always nice to be able to pull something else out of your pocket as you get through the game.
2-1 pitch, hit hard, but right back to Peralta. And that'll do it for the Red Sox in the fourth. Making some good contact, but Peralta there to handle that comebacker. And we are through 3 1/2 at Miller Park. Peralta and the Brewers lead the Red Sox 5-1.
lead over the Red Sox, and this is Brewers Community Foundation Week, and it is already underway. Each game day through May 14th, BCF will feature a wonderful opportunity to join in the fundraising. You can head to the third base side on the field level if you're here at Miller Park this week, or you can visit brewers.com BCF Week to see how you can make a difference in the community.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. We move to the bottom of the fourth. 7, 8, and 9 in the Milwaukee batting order. Keon Broxton leading off against Drew Pomerantz. Brewers got him for 5 runs in the first inning, but Pomerantz settling in, and Broxton had a hand in that 5-run first. Really coming around here at the plate these last couple of weeks is Broxton.
And most of the success that he's had has come to right field. Saw the home run to right. He's had a lot of base hits. He had a nice night at the plate on the road trip. Had a 4-hit game, and 3 of them coming to right field.
Ball, a strike to Keon. Curve misses. Go back to that first inning. Here's what Rock is talking about, what Broxton is doing.
And really on a pitch that you would think he'd try to pull middle in, and just kind of pulled the hands in. That's how strong he is, that leverage call. And able to get it out of here by plenty in right field.
2-2 the count now to Broxton. Talking to Darnell Coles, saying we're getting there with him. The constant process. Some very good numbers from Broxton now over these last, including tonight, 15 games. 2-2 pitch, sharply hit, past Bogarts, a base hit. Broxton 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, stayed back nicely on the curveball that time. Home run on the fastball. Yeah, waited back on the curveball, and what you like about that, once again, here's the curveball. Didn't try and pull it. He was thinking right up the middle with it and into center field for a base hit. You try and pull that pitch, I mean, that's probably a 5-3 put out, but you stay back, hit it hard up the middle, and you get a base hit. It sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, if it only were that easy in reality.
It really does sound easy.
Easy to say, hard to execute. Brewers trying to get Orlando Arcia going. Look out, Leon trying to catch Broxton leaning. Arcia struck out in the first. Trying to get that bat going. Orlando with 1 hit on the road trip. But he has had some very good stretches, and see if he can get into one here coming back to the home ballpark. Curve evens the count. Pomerantz, the 5th overall pick in the draft for the Cleveland Indians in 2010. That was the year Bryce Harper went #1. Jameson Taillon was the 2nd overall pick, and there's been big news involving Taillon this week, the Pirates pitcher. 1-1 pitch, Broxton running. It's taken a ball, the throw to second, and that's swipe #8, and it goes through and into center field. Broxton on his way to third, and he's in. Stolen base and an error has Keon Broxton to third.
Man, that's what happens. The catcher tries to make up for a good jump, and the Brewers apparently have something on Pomerantz. That's the second really good jump that they've had tonight. Now, you make matters worse when you try and quicken your delivery to second base. You can see the ball, kind of sails on him. One hops Pedroia, and see Broxton recognize it in time to get to third base.
So there it is, #8 for Broxton in 11 attempts. He's the runner at third with nobody out. Red Sox bring the infield in. 2 balls, 1 strike to Orlando Arcia. Trying to bunt a curveball and fouling it off. There is an example of a team right now in the attempt of manufacturing a run. A leadoff single from Broxton, steals second, advances on a throwing error. See if Arcia can put the ball in play. Infield in for the Red Sox. Pomerantz with the 2-2. First of 3 between these two teams. Back at it tomorrow, and then Thursday afternoon. It's Ben Taylor getting loose in the Red Sox bullpen. Pomerantz again with a 2-2 pitch. Again a foul ball. Heads up in the crowd.
Plays all right.
Pomerantz put the Brewers down in order for the first time tonight in the 3rd inning. A little trouble in the 4th, and a curve back up the middle, a base hit. Broxton will score as Arcia comes through with a run-scoring single.
Now that's how you manufacture runs, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Base hit, steal, error, base hit, and the Brewers able to get back on the board. And Pomerantz leaves a curveball up, and Arcia doing a real good job staying back, getting on top of it, and with the infield in, not a whole lot the Red Sox can do about that. RBI single for Orlando.
And he now has 10 RBIs on the year, and that brings Willie Peralta to the plate. 6 runs on 7 hits for the Crew tonight off Drew Pomerantz. And Willie trying to lay one down and fouling it. And finish the thought on that 2010 draft class. Pomerantz was the 5th overall. Jameson Taillon was the 2nd overall pick. And the Pirates announcing yesterday that Taillon had surgery, what they suspect is testicular cancer.
Right.
When on the disabled list, the club announced it on Sunday when the Brewers were in town. Curve is in for strike 2 to Peralta, but boy, certainly everybody across baseball wishing the best for Taillon, who has dealt with a lot in his young career, but this is next level difficult. But Taillon has dealt with Tommy John surgery, he's had hernia surgery, and now this.
Yeah, you never know, right? I mean, you're pitching one day, next day you're faced with those issues.
Posted a letter to all the fans from Pittsburgh, and fully expects to be back. Peralta bunting and missing, and they will turn it in to a strike him out, throw him out double play. As Arcia is cut down at 2nd. That's the 2nd runner Leon has put down here. As we'll see if the Brewers want to challenge.
Interesting, not exactly, you know, by the book, trying to bunt, kind of slashing at it, and Arcia taken off. So not sure, somebody might have missed a sign. Normally you don't steal when a guy's trying to bunt. You risk the double play, but yeah, you got the double play anyway.
The Brewers are wondering whether Bogaerts actually applied the tag, but apparently they are satisfied that he did.
Back of the leg. Let's see, right? I don't know. Maybe, did he get him on the back of the jersey? Didn't get him on the leg. Be a good look at. Not, maybe not. I don't know. Boy, if he got him on the back, he didn't get him by much.
All right, you're right.
He missed the leg.
So the Brewers choose not to challenge. 2 men out as the lineup turns to Jonathan Villar.
I guess Craig Counsell was thinking I might need a challenge later on. That's not worth the risk.
See the night so far for VR. A couple of plate appearances, a couple of walks, and a swing and a miss on another Pomerantz curveball. Pomerantz's career began with the Indians, was traded to the Rockies a year later, part of the Ubaldo Jimenez trade. Spent some time with the Oakland A's as well. And an all-star year last year with the San Diego Padres. 2-1 to VR.
You figure he should get a pretty good pitch here with Thames on deck.
Thames already a couple of hits against him, including a home run tonight. And he gets a good pitch, and a liner is caught by Mitch Moreland. As VR has one taken away by the Red Sox first baseman. The Brewers extend the lead, now 6-1.
And 6-1. Time now for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. And earlier this afternoon at Petco Park, AJ Griffin fired his second career complete game, gave up just 4 hits, 4 strikeouts for him on 104 pitches for the Rangers. And as Matt and Rock told you in the previous inning, Jameson Taillon for the Pirates underwent surgery yesterday for suspected testicular cancer. So we certainly join the Pirates and the rest of Major League Baseball in wishing him the best in a full recovery and hope to see him back soon. And closer Zach Britton for the Orioles, placed on the disabled list with a left forearm strain. He could miss up to 60 days. He's not expected to pick up a baseball for at least 10 days, but the Orioles are hopeful that they can get him back prior to the All-Star break.
That's potentially a huge hit for a very good Orioles team. Thanks, Sophia. 8-9-1 here for Boston. Josh Rutledge.
It looks like the Red Sox are going to go to the bench. That's the end of the night for Pomerantz.
Gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. A bouncer, VR charging, and that is out number 1.
Well, there's that shift again. I mean, VR shaded up the middle, able to make that play easily. Even when you haven't played a team for a while, you've got information.
The scouting is...
You can't hide.
No, you cannot.
You just can't. You know, video and, your advanced scouts, and boy.
The pinch hitter is Chase Darno, recently picked up by the Red Sox. Selected off waivers, began his year with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves let him go just before they came into Miller Park. That last homestand for the Milwaukee Brewers. Pinch hits for Drew Pomeranz, who gives up 6 runs in 4 innings of work.
Hey, good job by the crew. He had won 2 in a row before tonight.
As we mentioned in the open, this has been a Red Sox team that has pitched pretty well. The bullpen at times has been electric.
Pomeranz had given up all of 6 runs combined in his last 3 starts. 6 tonight.
A couple of home runs he allows tonight. He had given up 5 total in his previous 5. The ball, 2 strikes to d'Arnaud. And a bouncing ball to Arcia on the charge, and the flip not in time.
Well, I tell you, he got that in that line quickly, didn't he?
He did.
Wow. Arcia did all he could. Boy, that's a good call at first base. Fielded Culbreth on the call, and that Brewers just want to take a look at it, but I don't think they're going to challenge that. Arcia did all he could. I mean, he charged it. He got rid of it quickly. Just not in time. My d'Arnaud down that line like a flash.
See Chase's brother Travis from the Mets come in this weekend. Good play by Arcia. A good attempt. d'Arnaud legs out the infield single. And now Mookie Betts, who has been a tough out to say the least. He homered to begin the game and singled to right field in the 3rd inning. That leadoff spot and the way he's hitting may be there for quite a while.
And that was a good shakeup by John Farrell. Switching up Benintendi and Mookie Betts. It's worked pretty well.
That home run is 9th career leadoff homer. The ball, no strikes rather, to Mookie Betts. This was how the night began for the Red Sox.
And fastball right down the middle of the plate and line drive out of here. Well, Willie was able to minimize the damage, only allowing the 1 run.
It's all just beginning, you could say, for Betts, all of 24 years old. It's a huge year he had last year, winning a Gold Glove. Showed a ton of power. Did Betts with the 31 long balls, drove in 113. That's why he was in the mix for the MVP. Runner up to Mike Trout. 2-0 pitch. Snap throw down to first, but d'Arnaud gets back. Red Sox trying to chip their way back into the game. See how Willie handles these middle innings.
They just don't want to throw a cookie down the middle on a 3-1 pitch. He did 3-0, but not the way this guy's swinging the bat. You got to be careful here.
91st pitch of the night coming up for Willie Peralta. And that is strike 2 call.
Nice slider. Wasn't looking for that.
Peralta got a ground ball from Josh Rutledge, an infield hit he allowed to pinch hitter Chase d'Arnaud, and a full count to Mookie Betts. Betts fouls this off. It was a 5th round pick, was Betts, back in 2011. Born in Nashville, Tennessee. Some vets on this team, but some very bright young stars as well in Boston. Payoff pitch is driven to left field. Braun on the run, and he'll have to chase that down in the corner. Darno will round third, and he is running through a stop sign to the plate, and he's in. Oh, he went through the third base coach, Brian Butterfield, ran through it, and scores. It's a 6-2 ball game.
I tell you, why you do that? I mean, you're down by 5 runs. It worked out for him. And you can tell that Ryan Braun's arm's not 100%. A little bit of a humpback throw into the cutoff man, and run scoring. Mookie Betts likes the ball down just for future reference. His home run was a pitch down. That ball down in the zone, and he golfs it down the line. And check out the throw by Ryan. Just doesn't have much on that ball. And pretty close at home plate. You know, a little bit too close for comfort if you're a Red Sox with down by 5 runs.
Ran through it, but gets in. RBI double for Mookie Betts. Now 3 for 3 as Dustin Pedroia steps in.
Good slide, and you know, Manny Pena was blocking off home plate as well. Even had he tagged him out, they might have called him safe.
Pedroia hit into a double play in the 3rd inning. He walked in the 1st. MVP in 2008 was Pedroia. Red Sox now with 4 hits tonight. 1-1. And there's a liner. That's down the line and right, and that's going to be extra bases. Betts will score. Pedroia into second. Back-to-back doubles as the Red Sox are getting back into the game.
And not a bad pitch by Willie. Might have been up a touch, but it was right on the corner, and Dustin Pedroia goes right with it, right down the right field line. Pretty good piece of hitting. It might have been up just a hair, but not a bad pitch at all. Tucks it inside that right field line for an RBI.
Pedroia now with 13 RBIs on the year, and Craig Counsell's going to make a move. Carlos Torres had been up, getting loose. As the Red Sox with 3 hits here in the inning, an infield single and back-to-back doubles, and the night is over for Willie Peralta. Pitching change at Miller Park with the Brewers lead now down to 3. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Big bats have been out here for the Brewers tonight in building a nice lead early, but the Red Sox are getting back in it. A couple of runs here in the fifth off Willie Peralta. That results in a pitching change. The night ends here for Willie as you look at his pitching line, and it's not an unfamiliar story where he gets through those first couple of innings okay, and then the trouble starts to pop up as you move into the middle innings.
Yeah, he got the first out of the inning, and then Darno beat out that slow roll to short, and that kind of opened up the door, bringing the top of the order up. Carlos Torres on for the 17th time, having a rough start to his season. .415 earned run average, but he's got a 1-3 record.
Took the loss on Saturday night in that 10-inning game against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. It was quite the pitcher's duel. Pittsburgh ended up winning it 2-1. A Josh Harrison walk-off single. He faces Xander Bogaerts with Dustin Pedroia, the runner, at second. So both starting pitchers are done for the night. Bogaerts still trying to extend what is an 11-game hitting streak. Hitting at a .381 clip in that stretch.
Not sure how many hits Willie Peralta gave up on the slider tonight. They're all fastballs. Yeah, Mookie Betts like the fastball down. Pedroia fastball away.
And a little chopper. This is going to be a tough play for Arcia, but he makes it look pretty easy for out number 2. Pedroia moving to third.
Such good balance for Orlando Arcia coming in on a play like that. Tough part of that play is to straighten yourself up and get off a good throw. He does that as well as anybody.
Smooth. So smooth out there is Arcia. 2 men out. Here is Andrew Benintendi. Pedroia the runner at third. Benintendi has been good in situations just like this. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He has been a very dangerous hitter. .1-0 pitch, and there's a drive deep to right field, and that is off the wall. Pedroia will score. Benintendi to second. Third double of the inning for the Red Sox. It's now a 6-4 game.
Yeah, Brewers fortunate right there. That ball was sinking as it got out to the wall and right. That ball right down the middle of the plate at 92, and Benintendi hammers it on the line. Fortunate that he didn't get underneath it. That would have been well out of the ballpark. Right off the top of the wall. And now it's a 2-run game.
He was feasted on those 2 outs with runners in scoring position. .364 his average, and it only goes up after his 7th double of the year. RBI double. So a 3-run 5th here for Boston. Here's Mitch Moreland, a strikeout and a ground ball so far in this game. Red Sox bats got hot in the Twin Cities, and they're coming from behind here, or trying to tonight. There's a 5-run deficit. It's cut to 2.
They just can't make mistakes down the middle of the plate with these guys. The way they're swinging the bats, can't make mistakes down the middle of the plate to anybody.
Torres with a 1-1 to Moreland. And he held up. Mark Carlson, the third base umpire. Four runs on 6 hits now for the Red Sox. Swing and a miss
Yeah, he's chased that pitch a few times tonight. Well, just a bit above the strike zone and right underneath.
Torres trying to end things here in the 5th inning. It's been a good inning so far for Boston. 2-2 pitch, and that gets by Pena, and Benintendi will move to 3rd.
Held on to that one just a little bit too long, did Torres, and almost getting a piece of Mitch Moreland right off the end of the mitt for Pena.
Wild pitch got Torres in trouble Saturday night after giving up a leadoff single in the 10th to Gifton Gope. Eventually came around to score on the Harrison single. So both starters had an inning or two where they looked like they were in rhythm, but Brewers got 5 of their 6 runs off Drew Pomerantz in the 1st, and Red Sox with an early strike against Peralta with the Mookie Betts homer, and then they get it rolling again in the 5th.
It's about as early as you're going to see Carlos Torres in a game. 5th inning.
That's right.
It is very early. That's how important Craig Counsell figures this inning is, to hold him down.
And a walk to Moreland, so this 5th inning will continue. Settle in. The bats are alive here for both ball clubs. Now Chris Young to the plate. Tim Young with some good years with the Diamondbacks, was an all-star in 2010 with the A's for a year, a couple of years with the Yankees before coming over to the Red Sox. Talk about the veteran presence he brings to this club. Again, Jackie Bradley Jr. in scuffling since coming off the disabled list. We expect to see Bradley Jr. in the series, with Young getting some time out in left field again. Get into a fielder's choice and then walked in the 4th inning. Benintendi the runner at 3rd, Moreland at 1st. And there's a hot shot, but the Brewers have the infield shifted perfectly. VR with the throw to 1st, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the 5th. But they score 3. We got a game here at Miller Park. 6-4 Brew Crew.
6-4 here in the bottom of the 5th at Miller Park. And our minor league report is on infielder Mauricio Dubon with the Biloxi Shuckers. He was one of the prospects acquired in the trade with the Red Sox, along with Travis Shaw and reliever Josh Pennington. So yesterday with Biloxi, he went 3 for 5, had a double, scored 2 runs in Jacksonville. And you see his numbers on the season. He's hitting .280 with 9 RBIs, 5 doubles, and 10 walks. And his 16 steals lead the organization. So he's certainly off to a terrific start and a coveted prospect, again, that the Brewers got in that trade with the Red Sox in December.
Hey, right, Sophia, an exciting young shortstop in this Brewers system, Mauricio Dubon. Well, bullpen game again as the Red Sox turn to Fernando Abad in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, this is a very good bullpen for the Boston Red Sox. 3rd best as far as earned run average goes in all of baseball. Well, it starts with Abad here today. 11 appearances now. This is his 11th appearance, and he's worked in 5 or now 6 of the club's last 11 games.
Lefty. Thames already with a homer off the left-handed starter Drew Pomerantz. He has the 13 homers, 5 now against left-handed pitching. Good night here for the first baseman in progress. Strike pitch to Thames, little tapper, back to Abad, and there's out number 1.
Hey, spend Mother's Day with the crew as the Brewers host the Mets this Sunday at 1 o'clock. The first 20,000 fans at the ballpark will get a Brewers wristlet courtesy of Boston Store. Plus, kids 14 and under eat free. For details, go to brewers.com/promotions. That would look good walking around the next road trip. You in a Brewers wristlet?
Me in a Brewers wristlet?
Yeah.
I will if you will. We'll take a pass on that.
Of course it's for the ladies.
Of course. Great Mother's Day gift.
I think.
At the ballpark. Here's Ryan Braun. A double in the first. Ground ball to 3rd in the 2nd. Braun pops this one up. Xander Bogaerts backpedaling. 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, about a big guy, but he's got good off-speed stuff. He's got a good curveball. The changeup for Abad is very good. Not overpowering. 6'2", 205 pounds, but looks a lot bigger than that, doesn't he? Out of the Dominican Republic.
He really does, yeah. He was a deadline deal move that the Red Sox made. He was with the Twins last year. Around Astros, Nationals, A's. He has been a busy reliever here of late. A lot of work early, but much more here over the last week and a half. And he's retired the first 2 Brewers. A dangerous trio of Thames, Braun, and now Travis Shaw. He's gotten through Thames and Braun. Shaw a run scoring single in the first. A 6-1 lead became 6-4 as the Red Sox scored 3 times in the top half of this inning. The 1-0. Former Boston Red Sox Travis Shaw had a very good start with the Red Sox last year. First couple of months went very well. And tailed off as the year moved along. Off to a terrific start here with the Brewers with the now 25 RBIs. Moves ahead of Eric Thames, who has 24.
And his success against left-handers has been very positive. Craig Counsell has no problem keeping him in there against lefties. And he and Thames, that gives good continuity to the lineup. It really does. That confidence that your manager has in you.
2-1 pitch.
You don't want to have too many platoon situations on a team. Shaw came in against left-handers at 323. Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. A good jump over the career numbers coming in to this season. Bird is in there for strike 2.
Shaw thought that was up. I don't really blame him.
A full count to the Brewers' third baseman with 2 outs and the base is empty.
You see that last pitch, misses his own.
This has popped up. Josh Rutledge in foul territory will have a play. And it was difficult, but he makes it. And the inning is over as Abad retires the Brewers in order. We are 3-5 here at Miller Park. Not easy, but Rutledge gets the job done. 6-4 Brew Crew. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. 6-4 Brewers lead the Red Sox. Eric Thames has had some things to smile about tonight. A couple of hits for him so far, including a home run. But this game got tight. The Red Sox putting 3 on the board in the 5th inning. And they have pulled to within 2 as the bottom of the order now will come up. Carlos Torres will stay on here for the Brewers as we move into the 6th inning. Rock, you're right. Good point that he made about Torres. We saw him in the 5th. Willie Peralta goes 4 1/3 and gave up the 5 hits and the 4 runs. But 6th inning is the earliest normally we have seen Torres, and depending on the flow of the game, we could see him in the 7th or the 8th.
And that's the problem you have when your starter's not able to get, give you 5 innings, and now your bullpen is going to be active early. Good curveball right there from Torres. Brewers have activity in their pen.
John Marinez getting ready. No balls, 2 strikes to the catcher, Sandy Leon. Foul pop and a comebacker to Peralta in the 4th inning. 4 home runs, 3 came over the weekend against the Twins. Red Sox have stranded 5 runners so far tonight. 2-2 from Carlos Torres. Wafted in the air to left, and that will carry out of play. Leon, Rutledge, and the 9 spot in the order here for Boston. in mind, if this game stays tight late, they have Hanley Ramirez available. Again, the 2-2.
Seems to be the way to attack the Red Sox with the off-speed stuff. All their damage has come on fastballs tonight. Of course, fastballs weren't very well located.
The Red Sox with 3 doubles in that 5th inning. Infield hits and 3 doubles, resulting in 3 runs for the Red Sox. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball to Eric Thames. Feed to Torres for out number 1. In support of Mental Health Month this May, Fox Sports Sports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and their commitment to replacing stigma with hope and improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportssupports.com. Torres retires Sandy Leon to begin this 6th inning, and now Josh Rutledge at the plate. A strikeout and a ground ball to Travis Shaw. That's been the night at the dish for Rutledge so far. Injuries giving Rutledge the opportunity for playing time. Pablo Sandoval, Marco Hernandez, both on the DL. Torres with the 0-2 pitch.
And that's the way it starts for a lot of guys. You know, you never know. You get an opportunity to come up and be productive. He's got 6 hits so far, and I think the Red Sox just like to see him play some good solid defense over there at third base. They haven't had it yet this year.
That's been an error-prone position as Rutledge goes down swinging. Torres retires the first 2 here in inning number 6.
And a good cutter. Nice sharp break as it gets to the outside part of the plate. You see the spin doesn't break much, but Rutledge tried to pull it. And a good pitch by Carlos Torres.
2 up and 2 down as Jackie Bradley Jr. will pinch hit now, the 9th spot of the order. He was an all-star last year. Big year, 26 home runs. Turned in good work in the outfield as well. Hampered by a knee injury that had him on the disabled list early this season, and trying to find that hitting stroke upon his return. And he swings and pops this one up. That's Orlando Arcia on the grass, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Good work from Torres. Brewers still up 6-4.
first of a 3-game series against the Red Sox. And all-star voting is underway, and the crew needs your vote. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers to send your hometown guys to Miami this July. Cast your ballot the maximum number of 35 times at brewers.com/vote for your chance to win a meet and greet with Ryan Braun. Nice incentive.
It's a great incentive. Absolutely. Bullpen game continues now, and here's somebody who has given John Farrell some very good innings. Here is Heath Hembree.
Yeah, this bullpen has a .231 earned run average as a group. That's third best in all of baseball. There's that .115 ERA. Big, tall right-hander. 15th appearance. He's got 18 punch-outs and just shy of 16 innings of work, so he's off to a good start to his season.
One of those captain obvious keys of the game here: play with the lead and avoid Kimbrel when you get to the ninth. See if the Brewers up 2 can get to Hembree here, as Domingo Santana, Manny Pena, and Keon Broxton will come to the plate against the 28-year-old Hembree. Originally a draft pick of the Giants back in 2010, a 5th rounder. Santana, a swing and a miss. Take a look at Santana's night. Trying to reach for the first time here tonight. Five of those 6 runs for Milwaukee came in the first inning. A pair of 2-run homers, Eric Thames and Keon Broxton. There's a ground ball that is fair, and it's off the glove of Rutledge. Santana, base hit. He was running straight up the line, and he will have to hold at first.
And that's probably going to be a base hit, but one that Rutledge, you would think, thinks he should have had. Yeah, so that's Santana's first hit of the night. Right down, literally right down the third baseline over the bag, and that one off the glove of Rutledge. So the problems at third base continue for the Red Sox, but a leadoff base runner for Milwaukee.
There you go, hit number 8 for the Brewers. It is ruled a hit. We'll see if the Brewers can get to Hembree here in inning number 6. Manny Pena get into a fielder's choice in the first and grounded to short in the third. And there's a fly ball hit back in the deep left field. Chris Young going back at the wall to make the catch.
Yeah, just got it down on the end enough to keep it in the ballpark. Just didn't have that sound to it. But he gave it a pretty good ride, just a little bit out in front. That was a slider that was on the outside part of the plate. Just a little bit down on the end. I mean, you wait back just a tick longer, it's a home run. I don't think Manny thought he got it, but close, right up against the fence.
Not quite enough for his second home run of the year. Here's Keon Broxton. He hit his 3rd homer of the year in the first inning. Talk about a guy who has turned things around at the plate. Presented by Wendy's. The night for Broxton, the first inning homer, the 4th inning single. This is a guy through the first 14 games was hitting all of a .119. And that has turned dramatically over the last 15 games now, including tonight.
You got to credit Craig Counsell sticking with him. He said he's part of the future and had a tremendous second half last year, and he kept him in the lineup as long as his attitude stayed good and his defense, continued to be very good, which it was.
Yeah, you put check marks in both categories there.
And he grinded it out early batting practice. Coming to the ballpark early, looking at video, and now starting to reap the benefits of that. Batting average up to .250. Doesn't sound like much, but where he started.
Oh yeah, he was really scuffling, but hitting .356 now over his last 15 games, and he takes one to the back.
95 miles an hour.
Keon will slip the bat away and take the slow walk onto first.
No chance getting out of the way of that. He tried to, but at 95, you don't have a whole lot of time. Right on the back of the arm. It hurts every time you see it.
It does. It doesn't get any better. Brewers with runners at first and second with one out. This one he's going to field. There's Santana at second. And Orlando Arcia run scoring single his last trip. Brought Broxton home. Keon single, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and Arcia was able to shoot one through a drawn-in Red Sox infield. And he shoots another one through. That's a base hit. Here comes Santana. Betts will have to let him score, as moving to third is Broxton at 7-4 Milwaukee.
Well, you just love to see it when he does that. I mean, not only going to right, but centering on it, get on top of it, and hitting a line drive out of the reach of Pedroia. That's just a beautiful swing. I mean, that doesn't get any better than that. Check this out. A fastball down the middle. Didn't try and pull it. Look at the way he finishes the swing. Goes down and through. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Brewers up by 3. On an Orlando Arcia base hit the right. That's his second of the night.
Talking about trying to get him going, and that has unfolded here, or is unfolding tonight for Arcia, with a couple of run scoring singles, and now Nick Franklin into pinch hit. Arcia bluffs as though he's going to go.
No, Brewers 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Not bad. So they manufacture a run here in the 6th. Broxton taking one for the team. A mid-90s fastball to the arm. Well, Franklin had a good night in Pittsburgh, a 3-hit night during that weekend series. Got some work out in left field while Ryan Braun was getting back to health. On Friday night, that rain delayed game on a cold, rainy night in Pittsburgh. Had a couple of those before a much better day on Sunday.
He's had some good at bats. And the Red Sox are playing for the double play.
Robbie Scott getting loose in the Boston bullpen. He's the other left-hander that John Farrell can turn to out there.
They started the game with 2. They've used 1, and the other one getting loose.
2 balls, 1 strike to Nick Franklin. And Arcia is running this time. Franklin turns one down the line. That's extra bases. Broxton's in. Here comes Arcia. He will score as Nick Franklin with a 2-run double in the 6th.
Well, he had to count in his favor. That was about as crazy of a base running effort by a player that you're going to see. I mean, Arcia took off early. Hembree never stopped him, and look at Nick Franklin, a breaking pitch that just kind of spun up there, and he rips it down the line. Look at this. He doesn't know where the baseball is. Instead of looking at Ed Cedar, he's turning around looking, and finally knows where the baseball is, and he scores easily. Ed Cedar was beside himself when Arcia was at second base trying to get him to go.
Well, John Farrell on his way to the mound as the Brewers padding that lead as they get to Heath Hembree here in the 6th, and his stay is a short one. Now 9-4 Brew Crew over the Red Sox. Sixth inning, still just one out. Orlando Arcia involved with a run-scoring single. Or Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Nick Franklin with his 2-run double off Heath Hembree.
And it really gets interesting when you pick up Ed Cedar here. He's just going nuts. Get going. Arcia literally stopped around second base, turned around and looked down the line. But he's able to score. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Way to go, Eddie.
There you go. Hang in there, Eddie. They came around for you. And now Robbie Scott's out of the bullpen for Boston.
Another guy having a really good start to his season. Not a big strikeout guy, but look at the earned run average, 129 in his 14th game here tonight.
One of the guys the Red Sox folks were talking about. Chance to visit with a couple guys here before the game tonight. Story and perseverance is Scott is undrafted. He's out of Florida State University. He's actually pitching independent ball. Signed a deal with the Red Sox back in 2011. Made his big league debut last year. Appeared in 7 games. 0-1 pitch to VR, back up the middle. Bogarts behind the bag, and he will not have a play. Infield single for VR. Franklin to third.
Yeah, Brewers now 5 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Not bad.
No. And now you got the big hitters coming up. Rolls one up the middle. Good base running. You can see Franklin turning around, looking at the baseball and saying, instead of looking at Ed Cedar, look at Eddie. He's pointing. Stay there.
Now listen to me, will you? Here's Eric Thames. Anybody wondering if anything was wrong with Eric Thames, you can quit wondering. Homered on Sunday, a 3-hit game against the Pirates. A couple of hits, including a big fly here tonight.
Maintain that same approach no matter if he's getting hits or not. I mean, he's always been able to draw walks. I mean, that on-base percentage, outstanding. Guy that doesn't panic when he's really not getting hits. Still stays patient at the plate.
It's 20 walks he has, leads the team. facing a lefty who does not throw hard.
But that delivery can be tough.
Yes, sir. Continue to keep an eye on VR, who has been caught stealing in this game. He was caught trying to get third. Here's with Ryan Braun at the plate. He's back in the second inning. Just one out here. The Brewers already have scored 3 runs in the inning. The curveball is in there to even the count.
Yep, right at the bottom of the zone. That arm angle is difficult for lefties. That's why he's in there. You got Thames, then Braun, and Shaw. So 2 of the next 3 are lefties, including Thames. But right-handers see it pretty well from that angle.
Talking about how well the Brewers hit lefties, but this one is a little bit more of a challenge. That breaking ball missing. 2-1 now to Thames. Brewers with 11 hits in this game. Pirates pitching and the weather kept the bats pretty quiet on Friday and Saturday night. Started to break through on Sunday afternoon. Thames continues to not chase, go after pitches out of the zone. That has been the biggest area of improvement, they say, about Eric from the first time around in the big leagues with the Mariners and Blue Jays, and then after 3 years in Korea, just don't see him chase a lot. Naturally, that happens. A full count.
Yeah, a little bit off the inside corner, and Thames with the big hack.
Full count to Thames. Franklin the runner at third, VR at first, and they have VR picked off. It's Moreland will flip to Bogarts, and a tough night on the bases here for Jonathan VR. One to 3 to 6.
Yep, taking off on the 3-2 pitch and just a little bit too early. Just got to clean up those base running mistakes. I mean, you run yourself right out of innings. I know the Brewers have 3 in, but it could be a lot more. Now they've got 2 outs.
And still a full count to Eric Thames against Robbie Scott. Here's the payoff. Thames with a bouncer to Moreland. It was a good inning for the Brewers. Could have been better, but they get 3 on the board to pad the lead. Orlando Arcia, a couple of RBI singles here, and Nick Franklin delivers a 2-run double, and we are through 6. 9-4 Brew Crew.
4 as we head to the 7th. And the big story in baseball today, Mets starter Matt Harvey returned from his 3-game suspension after being suspended Saturday for not showing up to the ballpark. He first apologized to his teammates in the clubhouse and then offered this public apology.
I'm extremely embarrassed by my actions. I apologize to my teammates, to the Mets organization, to the Wilpons, to, all the way down, in every way that they could look at this situation, and it's completely my fault. And there's only one thing I can do, and that's apologize. And
it will be 9 days between his last start, and Matt Harvey will return to the rotation right here at Miller Park on Friday night when they open up the series against the Mets.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Well, he owned it, and as you heard the comments there, and he will be on the mound on Friday night. He's really good.
Yeah.
It's drama that Terry Collins and that Mets ball club doesn't need, but they're trying to move on from the latest chapter in all my Mets soap opera going on over there.
Yeah, and you could tell that he was sincere. I mean, it's not something that he read. I mean, it's great right from the heart, and he was embarrassed by the whole thing, it seemed like.
Well, fierce competitor, no question about that. Mookie Betts leading off, and speaking of fierce competitors, he's 3 for 3, and he'll face Jacob Barnes here in the 7th.
Yeah, better his last time out on Sunday against the Pirates. Pitched an inning, no runs. He walked a batter, struck out a batter.
Walks Mookie Betts as they still can't get him out. 3 for 3 with a walk from the right fielder.
And part of the lineup for the Red Sox that have done all the damage. For the Brewers, on the other hand, the bottom of the Brewers order has been the wrecking crew tonight. 5 hits, 6 RBIs.
Home run from Broxton, a couple of RBIs from Arcia, and then Nick Franklin pinch hitting. 2-run double. Here is Dustin Pedroia. He had a run scoring double in the 5th. That was an inning where the Red Sox got back into the game with 3 runs, 3 doubles in that inning. Pedroia with a .361 on base percentage now. Reaching a couple of times tonight. Also bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. Jacob Barnes went through a bumpy stretch after such a terrific start, but showing signs that he's getting some things turned back around. See how he handles the 7th inning after issuing a leadoff walk.
That's the way this game is. I mean, one of the first 10 appearances, he could not. I mean, they couldn't touch him. He was striking guys out. The cut fastball, slider, whatever you want to call it, was just unhittable. Yeah, the hitters were aware of that. He's throwing hard, and all of a sudden he just lost it a little bit. That's the thing about baseball. It's an everyday thing, and you never have it figured out, ever.
Barnes ready with a 1-2 pitch to Pedroia. Sails up and away.
That velocity is the same, a 98 on that last fastball, and well, it comes down to the cutter and his ability to throw it for strikes and good locations.
Barnes ready with the 2-2 pitch. Xander Bogaerts on deck, followed by Andrew Benintendi. Not much in the way of soft spots in this Red Sox order right now.
And you can't make it easy on them by walking guys.
Barnes ready with the payoff. Bouncing ball. Here's Arcia. There's one, and they get Pedroia on a double play ball for the 2nd time tonight.
And a good pitch by Jacob Barnes, a pitch away, and Pedroia got it on the end of the bat. And you can see Barnes, he's talking to himself. You see that cutter doesn't move much, but it had Pedroia on top of it and an easy double play for Orlando Arcia up the middle. Covering a lot of ground, able to take it himself.
It's a little scary when the pitcher reaches with that bare hand trying to hit one back up the middle. He didn't get it. Arcia did. A 6-3 double play, and Xander Bogaerts steps in.
With the way these defenses are these days, there always seems to be somebody up the middle, and you're best off just letting it go. We saw Garza do that in Pittsburgh.
That's right. He started to lean into it and then leaned out of the way.
And they ended up turning a double play.
Gotten Pedroia a couple of times here. The first two double plays that Dustin Pedroia has hit into this season, a 6-4-3 in the third, and then a 6-3 double play a moment ago. One of the best around for a while, Dustin Pedroia. 2 balls, 1 strike to Bogaerts.
He's one of those Jim Gantner guys, you know. He just gets the most out of his ability. He's tough as nails. He'll do anything to try and get an edge on you, and has gotten every inch out of the ability that he was given just by sheer determination.
MVP in this league. That was in 08. Big league debut in 2006. Been around a while. That's the fun of the game today, when you get these interleague matchups and a chance to see a team like the Red Sox. A lot of fun, especially when you're up 9-4, and hopefully it stays on that course. Two balls, 2 strikes. And Bogaerts gets into one. Left center field. Long run, Broxton. That'll bang off the wall. Xander Bogaerts turns second. He'll hold there. A 2-out double. First hit of the night for Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, that cutter, you know, down the middle of the plate. Check it out. It's more of a slider than a cutter. Right down the middle of the plate, and he's able to hammer it off the wall out there in left center. Once again, fortunate that he didn't get under it a little bit. That would have been a home run.
That hit extends the streak now for Bogaerts. Hit safely in 12 straight. Red Sox now with 7 hits in the game. And here is Andrew Benintendi. He had an RBI double. His last at bat in the 5th. The way the Red Sox hit at Target Field, it's way too early to feel comfortable, even with this 5-run lead. Brewers trying to get back above 500. Have fared better away from home. It's the 3rd homestand of the year. They're 7-10 here at Miller Park. 9-6 on the road. Six-game stand here as the Mets come to town this weekend. And then it's back on the road to San Diego, and then the Cubs again. Benintendi with a liner. Boy, heads up down there in the front row.
Yeah, there's no way you can get out of the way of that. Everybody all right?
Ooh. I saw some smiles, so that's good. Gotta pay attention down there. Check out your cell phone between innings.
You're right. Two balls, 2 strikes to the young star Andrew Benintendi.
22-year-old, the former Arkansas Razorback. Barnes trying to end this inning, and he cannot do it yet. Full count to the cleanup hitter. He's 21 RBIs, leads the Red Sox. One of those bright prospects who has lived up to the billing, at least so far. It's a Red Sox team that's definitely going for it. You have the young talent like Benintendi and Betts, but they've made some moves where they have dealt away some very highly regarded prospects. Yohan Moncada would be one of those to the White Sox. That's how they got Chris Sale. Trying to get back to that World Series where they won it most recently in 2013. Got knocked out in the divisional round against the Indians last fall. Payoff pitch. That is cracked into right center field, a base hit. Bogarts rounds third. It's now a 9-5 game.
And that kid can swing it.
Yeah, he's for real.
Yeah, that pitch up in the zone and fastball. And he's able to, hit it hard into center field. Yeah, so with 2 outs, double single, and the Red Sox back on the board.
Goes back to what we were talking his last trip. Benintendi, his ability to come through with the 2-out run scoring hit. And he's done that twice tonight. Here's Mitch Moreland. Put together a couple of pretty good power years, the last couple with the Rangers. 22 bombs last year, 23 the year before.
He's been chasing that high fastball all night. Dangerous to do it. If he's looking for it, he might hit one out of here, but that pitch that's just a little bit out of the strike zone, up in the zone, has been effective against him tonight.
Goes downstairs, and chasing it is Moreland. 0-2. Five runs on 8 hits for Boston, 9 on 11 for Milwaukee. And Benintendi, the runner at first. Barnes ready with the 0-2 pitch. Willie Peralta started, went 4 1/3. Gave up 4 runs. Carlos Torres went an inning and 2/3. Barnes trying to get through this 7th inning. Red Sox have scored a run here so far.
Just can't seem to get a feel for that cut fastball. He threw a good one for strike 2.
See if he can put him away here. The 2-2. There it is. Strike 3 swinging, inning over. The Red Sox pick up a run. Stretch time at Miller Park as the Brewers lead the Red Sox 9-5.
lead for the Crew. And in our game break tonight, we go out to Baltimore for a look at the game between the Nationals and the Orioles. The Nationals had a 4-1 lead thanks to Adam Lynn's 3-run home run. But for the Orioles, they came back in the 9th. It was Jonathan Shoup with the double and then J.J. Hardy with a single to tie it up at 4-4. So here's a look at how the Orioles were able to tie it up. Again, that was Shoup, make it 4-3, and then J.J. Hardy would come up and make it 4-4. So that game now is in the bottom of the 10th. They are still even at 4.
Good matchup with good teams, off to sweet starts. Orioles and Yankees tied for first in the AL East, and the Nats with a 5-game lead already. I get obsessed with the standings, but a 5-game lead at this early stage gets your attention.
Yeah, no kidding.
Move to the bottom of the 7th here in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun will be leading things off. Braun, Shaw, and Santana. And Braun going after the first pitch. A fly ball back into center field, but room out there for Benintendi, out number 1.
They got it down on the handle just a little bit. You see the numbers for Taylor. 8th appearance at .279. 10 strikeouts and just shy of 10 innings of work, but he has walked 6, so control issues have been there for him so far this year.
Look at that opening day roster making the jump from Double-A. That was as far as he got in the system last year, from high A to Double-A, and made the opening day roster. Skipped over Triple-A and has actually been up and down. They just called him up from their Pawtucket AAA farm club.
Third different time he's been
right.
back and forth,
up
right?
and down, yeah.
Already. A non-roster invitee to spring training.
24-year-old out of Montgomery, Alabama. A ball, a strike to Travis Shaw. Run scoring single from Shaw, part of a 5-run first inning for the Crew. Good OPS there at 842. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. An 11-hit night for Milwaukee. The Brewers, has been mentioning their numbers with runners in scoring position, and as all of that, they have stranded just 2 runners here so far in the game. To Drew Pomerantz right away. First 4 Brewers in that first inning reached. A couple of 2-run homers, Stames and Broxton.
Yeah, laying 9 earned runs on a very good pitching staff at the Brewers tonight.
Shaw draws a walk here in the 7th.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Bamboo Bar in Shawano. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite, the Bamboo Bar.
That's good. Good name. Here is Domingo Santana. Got things started with that single in the 6th inning. A 3-run inning for Milwaukee. Ground ball down the line at third. Josh Rutledge could not field. And that's sent into center field. That's a base hit in front of Benintendi as Shaw will move to second. And the Brewers have something going in the 7th. 12-hit night now for the home team.
Another good approach by the Brewers. They have put some good swings on the baseball. Fastball up, not overpowering, but see him trying to concentrate on getting on top of that baseball and dumps it out into center field.
Another chance for the Brewers to get to this Red Sox bullpen, which has been very good this season. They put it to Heath Hembry in the 6th. Here's Manny Pena. He sent one to the warning track. Out at left field. His last time up in the 6th. Looking for his first hit of the night is Pena. And this is popped up. Mitch Moreland in foul territory. And there are 2 men out. And a good night continuing for Keon Broxton. Remember, he took a fastball the back of his left arm his last plate appearance, but he has homered and singled, as you see. He continues to swing a very hot bat for Milwaukee.
Yeah, this is the part of the order that's done a lot of damage tonight. 7 through 9.
And 5 hits from that group, 2 from Broxton. Six RBIs from that bottom of the order. One to 0 the count to Broxton. Shaw at second, Santana the runner at first. Slider evens the count. Broxton's taken a couple of pitches, hard pitches this season. You see that C-flap, which prevented a much more serious injury in it early on, a few weeks ago now, and then he took one of the back of the arm here tonight. He was telling anyone who would listen after he took that one of the face, when in doubt, wear that.
Yeah,
why
why
extra
not?
guard.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to affect your vision at all, but if it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable hanging in there, yeah, why not? Why not do it?
2-2 pitch. Ben Taylor, the 5th pitcher tonight. Fernando Abad, Heath Henry, Robbie Scott, and now Ben Taylor, 24-year-old out of the University of South Alabama. Broxton again goes the other way. That's a fair ball. In to score is Shaw. Here comes Santana. He is in. Broxton to third with a triple. Oh, what a night for Keon Broxton.
Well, that's just a beautiful swing. I mean, Darnell Cole doesn't smile a whole lot, and he's not right now, but you got to believe inside he is just beaming right now. That is a beautiful. There it is. Did you see it? Yeah, put that on tape and send it to him. I tell you, he has worked a lot with Keon Broxton, and to see him do this, that's got to do his heart good, because he has just driven in a couple of runs on a pretty good pitch. We always seem to get a shot of the hitting coach when the guys aren't hitting.
So show him, give him some love, right?
Give him some love when things are going well. 11 runs on a very good pitching staff. Look at the way where he makes contact, back on that back leg, and just drives it down the line. And the Brewers have a 6-run lead.
Orlando Arcia having a good night. He has a couple of hits, couple of runs batted in. A fly ball out to center field. Benintendi will squeeze it. And the inning is over, but again, the Brewers put runs on the board. Yeah, Darnell said Keon's getting there. I guess. Brewers lead 11-5. night in progress for the Brewers. They lead the Red Sox 11-5. As you check out that box score, and Rocky, been talking about it throughout the game, and look at what 7, 8, 9 are doing here.
What do you think? Bottom of the order, well done.
Not bad.
You know,
not bad. Nick Franklin that pinch hit 2-run double in the 6th inning. Boy, how fun is it to watch Broxton right now? And then Arcia with a couple of RBI singles in this game as he's turning a corner once again in a good way at the plate.
Yep, 8 RBIs, including Nick Franklin, that double. 8 RBIs, 7 through 9 in the batting order.
We've had a few games where that bottom of the order has been a significant factor in the Brewers putting together some big offensive games. Chris Young leads off as Yan Marinez now is on for Milwaukee. Follows Jacob Barnes, who worked the 7th inning.
Yeah, Marinez last pitched on Friday against the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 3-up, 3-down inning that included a strikeout.
Delivers a strike to Young. Young, Leone, and Rutledge 6, 7, and 8 for the Red Sox. Infield swung around for Young.
He's always been a pull hitter. He's had some big home run years.
Including his all-star year in 2010 when he had 27 home runs for the Diamondbacks. A swing and a miss here, and that's how the 8th begins for Yan Marinez.
Yeah, good slider. That's been the pitch, you know, tonight against the Red Sox. And that's exactly where you want it with 2 strikes. Yep, and Chris Young tried to pull it.
One up, one down for Marinez as he gets ready to face Sandy Leone. Three years with the Nationals before coming over to Boston in 2015. Pitch to Leone. Interesting watching segment on MLB Network. Mentioned the shift for Young, and they have Arcia shaded toward the bag at second. We've seen such a significant jump going back probably 4 or 5 years now on the number of shifting, the amount of shifting we've seen. It is starting to level a little bit. You can only double the shift year to year for so long, and it's starting to level off. This is more of a shade here. It's not a full Ted Williams shift, as they would call it, if you have 3 infielders on one side of the bag.
Yeah, it doesn't count as a shift, but
right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a shade with where Arcia is positioned. Prevents singles, prevents runs.
Yeah, remember, a couple of years ago in the offseason, they were talking about maybe doing away with the shift. How do you do that?
You can't, right?
I mean, you can't. These guys can play wherever they want. I mean, organizations can put everybody at first base if they want.
You occasionally will see hitters, bunt against it. And we saw that at Wrigley Field with Rizzo. I think Anthony Rizzo did that.
Yeah, Cardinals did it in
Yeah,
that
they
series
did.
in St. Louis.
Right. 2-2 pitch to Leone. It was rifled foul. Again, be alert. And he is. Best kind of foul ball to get. One they just bend over and pick up.
Yeah. Pick it up when it stops rolling.
That's right. Isn't that how Bob Uecker said he caught knuckleball pitchers?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's the best way.
That's right. Wait for it to stop rolling. 2-2. Martinez, the third Brewer out of the bullpen tonight. Carlos Torres followed Willie Peralta. Peralta went 4 1/3. Seen Torres, Barnes, and now Martinez. Loading up one more time for the 2-2 to Sandy Leon. And again, this will carry out of play. Giving chase with Shaw. Crew trying to start this homestand on a good note.
Hey, just keep in mind, if you think this one's in the bag, I mean, on Sunday, the Red Sox put up a 10 spot in the 9th inning.
Yes, sir. They had an 8-run second inning on Saturday against the Twins, so they are more than capable. We talked about the quiet month of April the Red Sox had in terms of the home run power. It has turned around early in the month of May, and it started with a long ball from Mookie Betts for John Farrell's team. Still haven't gotten Betts out tonight. 3 hits and a walk. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up here from Martinez to Leon. And this is hit in the air to center field. Keon Broxton. 2 outs.
Well, all 5 county residents say 50% on tickets for the Brewers Friday night game against the Mets. This upcoming Friday is part of another 5 county Friday at Miller Park. For tickets and details, go to brewers.com/5county.
It'll be a Matt Garza, Matt Harvey matchup on Friday night here. 2 outs for Josh Rutledge. Is trying to get himself a nice clean inning in the 8th inning. Rutledge 3 years with the Rockies. Up and down. Big club in the minor leagues in his career. Appeared in 105 games with the Rockies back in 2014. Two balls, no strikes. The 2-1 pitch. That is hit sharply in the hole. Arcia the stop. Oh my goodness. He made that interesting, but Rutledge able to out an infield hit.
And Rutledge probably couldn't believe that that ball was actually heading to first base. Able to beat it. Man, that's what Arcia gives you. Even on a base hit, he makes it interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, just the ability, you know, going that hard away from first base to turn around and get off that kind of throw. And incredible athleticism.
That's something else. So an infield single for Rutledge, and another pinch hitter coming up here for the Red Sox in the 8th inning. Devin Marrero. He started Sunday. He was in the lineup in their series finale against the Twins. 26-year-old. It's a first-round pick 5 years ago. College ball at Arizona State. One-0 pitch. All the shuffling the Red Sox have had to do with their variety of injuries.
Giving everybody an opportunity. I mean, and they're still in a race. I mean, they're still hanging in there over 500.
17-14 entering this series. And that is through. A base hit to right field.
First major league hit.
It is.
Well, 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back hits, and now the top of the order comes up. Well, you don't want to walk anybody in this situation, so Marinez throws one down the middle. And Marrero able to fight it off and hit it into right field.
So a 10-hit night for the Red Sox. First of the year for Marrero. Mookie Betts, he has homered, singled, doubled, and walked. So a threat here for Boston in the 8th. Their big inning so far was the 5th when they scored 3. Betts on the edge of a 300 average now. On base percentage is .370. And Marinez quickly out in front. 0-2. Couple of sliders getting him out in front. Now trying to put him away. The 0-2. Missed with one upstairs. Retired the first 2. He got Young on a strikeout, Leon on a fly ball, Rutledge an infield single, and Marrero a single to right. The 1-2 to Mookie Betts, missed away.
Needs to get that good slider, that one down and away. He's thrown one, for the strikeout to Young, but haven't been able to throw that same pitch. You throw that one here, I think you're going to get him. Just don't feel comfortable even with a 6-run lead right here.
I agree with you.
It's
just been too much explosiveness here. You mentioned over the weekend, but the Red Sox have been hitting it better of late, period.
And Manny Pena going out and trying to encourage Marinez. I want your best slider right here. No messing around. I want it down and away. Let's get this guy.
Marinez ready with the 2-2 pitch to Mookie Betts. That bounces up there. Good block by Pena. Brewers have been good when Pena has started. When he's been in the lineup, they are 9-6. But make no mistake, Jet Bandy has been good as well. Payoff pitch coming up to Mookie Betts. And this is sent out of play.
And what with the fastball, didn't want to risk throwing a slider off the plate because these guys don't chase too much.
And worth reminding, they are the toughest team to strike out.
Well, they punched out 6 times tonight.
Brewers' last 2 series have been against the 2 toughest teams in the big leagues to fan, the Pirates and now the Red Sox. Again, the 3-2. And that is ripped fair down the line and left. Extra bases. Rutledge is in. And here comes Marrero. He is in. A 2-run double and a 4-hit night for Mookie Betts. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, he was down in the count 0-2. You see that fastball in. These guys, I mean, every hit, I think, has been a fastball. Every single one. That one just inside the third baseline. Hey, get these sliders close to the plate, you might get some swings and misses. But if you don't get them close, you're not going to swing, and all of a sudden, we got ourselves a game again.
Yeah, it gets dangerous as they creep within 4. Pitching coach Derek Johnson with a visit. Remember, Hanley Ramirez is still available for John Farrell as Corey Knebel now begins to warm up.
11 hits, every one on a fastball tonight. The thing about the Red Sox is, you know, you don't throw the sliders or the breaking pitches for strikes. You're not going to swing at them.
Right.
You know, a lot of guys do. A lot of teams do. They're aggressive. But in Mourinho's case, he just hasn't been able to get the slider close enough for the swing and miss with 2 strikes.
And now Dustin Pedroia at the plate. There's an RBI double going for him. He's also grounded into a couple of double plays. 2 outs here with Betts the runner at second.
2 outs, nobody on, and the Red Sox able to play the couple.
Nothing easy. Now Mourinho's has to deal with Dustin Pedroia. He's doubled and walked tonight, in addition to the pair of double plays that he's grounded into.
Man, not even close.
Bogarts is on deck. Two balls, no strikes to Pedroia. Foul tip into the mid of Pena. Couple of runs across here in the 8th for Boston. Brewers just not quite able to put them away completely. Two one. Wow.
Now this will be his last hitter.
Yep.
Corey Knebel is getting loose. He's been throwing. He's ready. I would imagine Craig Counsell would have preferred not to even had to get him up today.
Is now with the 3-1 pitch, and the count is full. An off day coming in handy, but some busy pitchers down in that Brewers bullpen.
And that last strike, a gift. Nothing in the box.
Full count to Dustin Pedroia. Mourinho's with a payoff. Just inside.
Well, that'll be it for him, I would imagine. Got the tying run on deck. 2 outs, nobody on, and 4 consecutive base runners. This is not what Craig Counsell wanted. Once he had his big lead, he had a 6-run lead going into this inning. He didn't even want to have to get up Knebel, get Knebel loose, but forced to, and he's bringing him in.
Infield single from Rutledge, pinch single from Marrero, double from Betts, walk to Pedroia. So exit Mourinho's, enter Knebel. The lead is 4 for Milwaukee. 11-7, the Brewers lead Boston. Now Martinez gets the first two and struggles. So here's Corey Knebel, who's on quite a run, as you can see. At least one punch out in every appearance for him so far in 2017.
Well, you see the fastballs, but what you don't see there is, you know, the fastball is being set up there by the curveball that's been so good. He's been able to throw that for strikes, making his fastball very difficult to get on top of when he gets it up in his zone. You can see his numbers. Outstanding work for Knebel. 18th appearance and a 110 earned run average. Outstanding for Knebel. Has not allowed a home run. 25 punch outs in 16 and a third.
Just 148 against him. So he's trying to stop this before it becomes even more of a mess. The Brewers led 11-5 here going into this 8th inning, and you see what Knebel has been doing lately, and thank goodness for the off day yesterday. Rock, this is to your point there. You're thinking you really didn't want to get him up if you could avoid it today.
I mean, you don't want to have him even get loose, let alone get him in the game. And you know, you have a 6-run lead in the 8th. Right here he is.
And he has to face Xander Bogaerts with Mookie Betts the runner at second. Dustin Pedroia, who worked Martinez for a walk, he's the runner at first. And a strike on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to Xander Bogaerts. You see his night. That double extended his hitting streak to 12. One strike pitch. Curveball is foul. Benintendi is on deck. Knebel trying to end this 8th inning right here and now. Two strikes and nothing to the Red Sox shortstop. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. 98. Knebel rears back with a blow-by fastball. Another punch out. What's new for Corey Knebel? 4-run lead for the Brew Crew.
In the bottom of the 8th inning turns out to be a slugfest, so why not bring this guy in? 11-7 right now. The Brewers lead the Red Sox in interleague play. I'm Craig Kashan getting set for Brewers Live post-game show presented by Ascension. Ken Broxton, a night to remember tonight. Over a week span, he's gone 2 games where he's been a hit away from the cycle. And we'll talk to hopefully Keon Broxton after the ball game. We'll put Sophia Minute to work on that. Big question, guys, is for Tim O'Driscoll, the official scorer. Who do you give this win to tonight if the Brewers do indeed hang on? Because Willie didn't go the full 5 innings in this one.
Yeah, there you go. There's the dilemma. Well, Torres, right?
Inning and 2/3.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave up a hit, a walk. He did allow a Willie Peralta run to score, but I guess he would be the likely choice at this point.
Well, let's hope that's the dilemma.
How about we get the win first?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's.
Yeah.
It'd be a good dilemma to have. Jesus Aguilar leading things off, and man, did he have himself a road trip. Coming through with some big hits, including his first 2 big league home runs. This is what happened on Sunday as he came off the bench and delivered a ground rule double.
Scored a run, then he came up later in the game and hit a homer to give the Brewers a bit of a cushion. Starting to get a few more at bats.
9-1-2 here in the Brewers batting order. Joe Kelly is on now for the Red Sox. Hard throwing right-hander.
Yeah, came over to Red Sox back in 2014 from the Cardinals. Yeah, good numbers for Kelly. 225 in appearance number 14 tonight.
A ball, 2 strikes to Jesus Aguilar. And this is popped out of play. 101 on the gun in that last pitch from Kelly. Saw the highlight of the home run in Boston, his first big league homer. Aguilar was the game winner in the 7th inning Thursday against the St. Louis Cardinals. Very encouraging and important trip for Aguilar. And this is back up the middle. Pedroia the stop, and that's a big time play by the veteran second baseman, out number 1.
Yeah, he has not committed an error yet this year. That's how good he's been. I mean, he's always up there in Gold Glove contention, and just a good player. Gets a good jump on it. Not the fastest guy out there. Doesn't have the greatest arm, but he always seems to be able to make the play.
Even though he's on the other team, he's fun to watch. There's just no denying that.
Always the dirtiest guy out there. I mean, as far as his uniform.
That's right. Here's Jonathan Villar. Well, the good news for Villar, he has gotten on base, couple of walks, an infield single. The bad news is he's had troubles again on the bases. Was thrown out trying to steal third, got picked off first in the 6th inning.
And both of those go down as caught stealings, even the one at first.
Right. '98 and up and in. Yeah, the issue on the base is coming back. It's been a little while. He's been pretty clean, but not so much here in this game. Kelly with a 1-1 pitch. Spent some time as a starter, most of that with the Cardinals, and actually in 2015 he started 25 times, went 10-6 with the Red Sox. Villar goes the other way, left field. That's Chris Young, and that's out number 2. Let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lights. Game 2 of the series. Kyle Kendrick will be on the mound for the Red Sox, and Chase Anderson. Take a look at his good numbers there. 2-0 with a 2.86 ERA. Our coverage starts at 6:30 tomorrow night on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Kyle Kendrick put into that rotation. Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, out for the year with the knee injury.
You would think that's a good matchup for Chase Anderson. I mean, he's had very good command of his off-speed stuff. Curveball, changeup.
Be looking for win number 3 tomorrow.
All about location for Chase.
Eric Thames homered and singled. Homer a 2-run blast in the first inning, and that's a broken bat bloop out to Pedroia out on the grass, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Kelly. Move to the ninth. Brewers looking to close it out, up 11-7. Big bats out early here tonight. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. And out early, you see, with that 5-run first, 3-run sixth, home run power, a 13-hit night, and now the Brewers looking to finish this one off, as Andrew Benintendi will lead things off here for the Red Sox. Austin with 2 runs in the 8th off Jan Marinez, and now Oliver Drake is on and try to finish it here for the Crew.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, his time with the Brewers has been very good. Those are his numbers between here and Baltimore. And you like the split-fingered fastball against this lineup. Just got to get it down in the zone.
As Rock said, you saw the combined numbers, but as a Brewer, Drake's ERA is 1.59 with 10 appearances. And he has really been a good addition to this bullpen, to put it mildly. It's been Benintendi, Moreland, and Chris Young here for the Red Sox at the top of the 9th. A win puts the Brewers above 500 again. Two balls, 2 strikes to Andrew Benintendi. Good night for him. A couple of 2-out RBI hits, a double in the 5th, a single in the 7th. Jesus Aguilar stays in the game, and he plays first in place of Eric Thames. The 2-2, and Benintendi shoots one foul.
This guy barrels up everything, it seems like.
Yeah, they've sounded good. I mentioned he was called up in August, 1st-round pick 2 years ago. Very good first impression with the big club last year, and John Farrell now has him in the cleanup spot in the Boston order. And Benintendi delivers his 3rd hit of the night. So we begin the 9th inning.
Yeah, split-fingered fastball. It stayed up.
A dozen hits for the Red Sox, 3 from Benintendi. Neftali Feliz starts to get loose.
Yeah, one more base runner becomes a save situation.
Mitch Moreland will be at the plate. He has grounded into 4 double plays this season. See if the splitter from Drake can induce one from Moreland.
Kind of surprised they were holding on Benintendi. Now they're going to have him go behind the bag and cover a little bit more ground with a left-hander up.
They have VR out in the grass. And the defensive alignment. 0-2 the count to Moreland. See VR out there in the grass.
Yep, straight away in the outfield. It's a pull in the infield.
2-strike pitch. Red Sox have stranded 8 runners in the game. Leadoff single from Benintendi. Drake ahead, a ball, 2 strikes to the Red Sox first baseman. And there's a little one hopper, and there is one. Garcia to throw to first, not in time to Aguilar. Close.
That was a funny hop, and that was a good adjustment by Orlando Arcia to put it in the glove. A little jam shot, and had some interesting English on it. And watch the way this ball bounces when it gets to Arcia. Boom. Go get it, and Moreland able to beat it at first base.
One out and one on in the 9th. Arcia able to retire Benintendi. Chris Young takes a strike from Oliver Drake. Struck out in the 8th inning. Notice how Marinez began the 8th. A strikeout of Young, a fly ball from Sandy Leon, and then trouble followed. En route to what turned out to be a 2-run inning. And that's strike 2 to Young. Fifth pitcher tonight here for the Brewers. Actually the 6th. Corey Knebel wrapped up the 8th inning with a strikeout.
So his streak's alive.
Yeah, the one hitter he faced, he struck out. So he has punched out one in each of his at least one in each of his 18 appearances. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drake versus Young. Just missed.
Yep, off the outside corner.
Three-two pitch. Struck him out. Second out of the inning of the first punch out for Drake.
Yeah, pretty close to the same spot, the one he took right before that. Stay with the fastball. A little bit off the edge. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, good pitch. And Chris Young swings right through it, right underneath.
Brewers pitchers have now recorded 9 strikeouts against the hardest team to strike out in the big leagues. Boston down to its final out. As Drake gets ready to face Sandy Leon, and that's a strike to the catcher. This Brewers team continues to be very, very competitive. On the brink of win number 17. A strike away from win number 17. Seeing the Red Sox at Miller Park for the first time since 2003. $22,000 plus at the ballpark tonight. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball high. Five-run first for the Brewers after the Red Sox. Mookie Betts led off the game with a home run. Not had to look back since. Boston, though, hasn't made it easy. 3-run fifth, a 2-run eighth. A 1-2. Pitch swung on and missed. Leon strikes out. Drake with a couple of strikeouts in the ninth. And the Brewers begin the homestand with a 4-run win. Big night for Keon Broxton. Big night for the bottom of the order for the Milwaukee Brewers as they improve their record to 17-16.
Yeah, 8 RBIs, 7, 8, and 9 in the batting order. Good job by those guys, and what a good way to start, this homestand.
Brewers a winner in the series opener over the Red Sox, 11-7. Let's send it down to Craig Gashawn, ready to roll with Brewers Live postgame.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. And this guy, Keon Broxton, you got to figure we're going to hear from him coming up in just a couple of minutes as we get the postgame show underway. Big night offensively for Milwaukee. Brewers Live presented by Ascension on the way.